Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and right now we are going to recap the latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's season 6. We're already on episode 10. Time has been flying by. We just have a few episodes left, then we would have reached the mid-season part, and then they're going to come back, I assume, in the fall for some more several episodes which they are taping now and then the reunion. I've already decided from just Kiki's Instagram lives that these first 10 episodes or this first half of season 6, it's more entrepreneurial based, more business based, and then I think it's definitely going to get back to the drama and the ratchetness. We're going to see that during the second half just from watching Kiki's Instagram lives, but you be sure to let me know. But first, I do ask that you all please hit the like button on this video. You know, us content creators ask that all the time because it will cause YouTube to recommend this video to more people. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I always say I offer a variety of content, including TV show recaps, reality TV star interviews. Yesterday, I had the most amazing conversation with you all. We talked about some things regarding Kiki because she was live on Instagram. Then we talked about Celebrity College Hill and Jocelyn trying to identify for Amber Rose and their physical altercation. Then we talked about music yesterday, y'all. If you were not on that live yesterday, I encourage you all to catch the replay. You will enjoy it. I even put time codes in the comments so that you can jump to whatever subject that you would want to hear about. We had the best time talking about music. But anyway, let's jump right on into this episode. So the episode opens up where the last one left off, which was Tiffany and Lewis's baby shower. We all know that Tiffany was not feeling well. She was feeling dizzy and seeing stars. And someone said, how about we turn the lights off? So that's why the visual is kind of darker. So they wanted to because you know how sometimes light and heat, it can make you feel a little lightheaded or overheated. So that's why they turned it off to try and help her relax. And then Lewis asked for some water. And, Stormy was saying in her confessional, I'm the type I want to take action when I see someone has nervous energy. But Lewis asked you to get water and he came back with Kimmy. But, I understand Kimmy is a nurse. That was very smart of you, Stormy. I'm just playing. And, Kimmy was like, I rode in Maurice's car. Normally I have my blood pressure cuff with me. I think you should get to the hospital so that they can take your vitals and make sure you're okay. And Tiffany said no. And if you were watching Anthony Lofty's live last night, I enjoy Anthony Lofty so much. He said that Tiffany saying no was a major clue. Why do you all think that Tiffany said no to going to the hospital? I don't want to say offhand that she was faking. I was wondering, did she not want to pay an ambulance bill? Is there something questionable about their health insurance? Is she not working right now? My mind immediately went to financial reasons, but let me know if you all have any theories about why she would not want to go. Well, eventually, Lewis did take her to the hospital and they learned that she just needs to take it easy. And we're going to circle back around to that. Hello, pretty brown eyes. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. So we're going to get more to these two in just a moment. So then we see this scene between Marceau, his new business partner, I believe his name is Gio, and Tish and Maurice. They decided to have a photo op for this new project that they were able to nail. According to Tish, Geo does more of the actual physical building in the field. And then Marceau is supposed to do business development, which sounds like sales to get more of the projects, I guess, under contract. It was kind of giving not really sincere. I wasn't really clear on what exactly they'll be building. When is it supposed to be done? I enjoy so many other content creators, and I heard the panelists saying, where is Tisha getting these clothes from? And I totally agree. I'm in the bushes driving. Oh my God. Okay. Yes, definitely drive safe. Thank you again for being here. Hey, what's up, Virgo Energy? How are you, love? Thank you so much for being here. I feel like whenever it comes to the Scots, it's just so hard to trust them. You just never know if they're keeping it 100, if they're being sincere, especially when they won't talk about their legal drama. They don't even mention the lawsuits, the judgments, the drilling company that, according to them, allegedly they have not gotten paid and they have filed a lien against the land. They're not even like mentioning that. So that's why it's kind of hard to really get excited for them or even want to congratulate them, because I just don't know if this is a fake scene, y'all. I'm inclined to think that it is. I wasn't even really into it. So then we see Melody talking to her attorney. First of all, I could feel like I can tell he's a hardworking attorney. He has Melody's best interest at heart. I felt like their rapport was very relaxed, and you can just tell that they've been working together for a while. Now, I'm sure some of these white men be like, how come these sisters, how do they get wrapped up in these men's with Martell and them? One of my friends, when she went through her divorce, she had a white male attorney. She said he asked her one day, how did you get wrapped up in him? So I'm sure that's what this man, because I'm sure he finds Melody just adorable. Okay. But anyway, in this scene, she confirmed things that came out in the blogs just a couple months ago. We all saw the blogs like Sherelle's World, and the information that was leaked to her and how it was anti-Melody. And we learned here, Melody confirmed it, that Martell actually tried to use the court to try and control his ex-wife. He actually wanted the passwords to her social media accounts. In my opinion, that is psychotic. That is mean, controlling, and evil. He even wanted to know whom she is romantically linked to since the divorce. That is ridiculous. If that is not stalking and controlling, I do not know what is. I am so thankful that the judge presiding over their custody case saw right through his desires as being ridiculous and unnecessary. I'm so glad that Melody's lawyer objected to all of those desires and that her objections, were met. The judge did agree. So I'm just so thankful. So Virgo is saying that the Scott episode was definitely fake. Okay, so we're on the same page. It was giving fake. I could not take them serious. Whatever. I feel like they rented the little tractor trailer, and yeah, they just went and bought some shovels at Home Depot and did the fake photo op at this point. Yes, he is ridiculously ridiculous. He is. Melody is so focused and positive, because I would not want an ex like Martell. I wouldn't even want a neighbor like Martell. Can you imagine if you are Martell's neighbor and him checking you out, and then the minute, because see, where the men go crazy is when you are clear about not being interested. That's when they go nuts. And then you got to turn them down. Pretty brown eyes, Virgo, Aries love. Can y'all imagine Martell handling your no? He would not handle it well. He gonna want your passwords too, with his crazy self. So I'm so glad she confirmed what we had all heard a couple months ago. I'm glad her lawyer, he sounds like a badass, a kick-ass lawyer, and he had her back. So then we see another ridiculous fake scene. This time it was with Martell and Miguel. I feel like Miguel, he just sees any type of publicity as good publicity. He gives those types of vibes. All he see is, a ninja on TV, and this is the one that I want to work with because he on TV. He on Oprah's channel, so I'm going to get him to sell some suits. Well, no, Miguel, you need to hire some sort of PR rep or social media expert that will tell you that Martell is not a fan fave of the show. So if anything, it would be antagonistic to your business for you to work with him, in my opinion, and allegedly. But let's be real. Even Mel in her lawyer scene was pre-produced, but I am here for it though. She spilled hot tea and he corroborated it. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. The lawyer said, I have never had a client's ex ask for their social media account passwords. So I'm glad that the lawyer was down with the scene. I'm telling you, he was giving kick-ass lawyer for him to even do the scene. Yeah, pretty brown eyes, you throwing up at the thought. I know. But you are pretty brown eyes. He will be all over you. And as soon as you say no, he gonna flip. Men lose their minds if they even think the tables have turned. True story. Absolutely. They can't take it. Miss hearing your viewpoints on panels. Oh, that's so sweet. This has been Mel's lawyer since the beginning of the divorce. So, which lawyer was Hotel lying about that Mel had an affair with? Very good point. Exactly. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure Mel's lawyer finds her to be gorgeous, but I'm sure he's a professional. He ain't nobody that Martell would choose, But anyway, but I know he's about his business because she got everything that she needed. Aw. That's so sweet. So in this scene, we learn about, Martell wants to charge people $700 for a suit. And according to Miguel, 50% of male consumers would be able to afford his suits. And Miguel, I really want to know, like, where's your research? I just found that interesting. He just said $700. Okay, so 50% of customers could afford your suit. And, Martell, are you satisfied with that? Just 50%? Or would you want to produce a product where more people can afford it? Because if you've already priced yourself out of 50% of the market, then you don't know if that entire 50% will F with you and still buy your suits, because they may not. So I feel like you may want to, lower your prices still. But anyway, then Miguel just randomly says, yeah, and I think you're going to need about $100,000, not all up front on the front end, but, we'll talk about it. And Martell's just like, oh, okay, okay. Martell, really keep it a bug. You trying to think about how many spaghetti dinners you would have to cook and fundraise to come up with that, how many bowling fundraisers you'll have to do to come up with 100,000. I know who do have it that will not ever invest in your business, and that is your ex-wife, boo. So I know you won't ever get her as an investor. And it was funny. He said in his confessional that he is a single parent of 5, and he knows that he needs to have substantial income to provide. So he's acknowledging that, now things are definitely different for him financially. And yeah, you need some income, bruh. So get it together. I Googled her lawyer, and he is a badass. And I think he is married. So Martell, stay lying. I know. I just had a very good feeling about that lawyer. And I was like, he has to be badass for her to have come out with everything like she needed. Miguel is as accomplished as he is, which I will give him. He is too thirsty for me, because even the projections for the customer base that can buy this product is not encouraging for a new venture. I agree. To say 50% of male consumers can afford the suit, I don't think that's good, because you should want more of that base to be able to buy your suit, in my opinion. He'll have to make some sloppy joes to come up with 100,000. More like how many women he will need to con. Oh, Miss Hannah, yes, he is thinking about that too. And Belinda, please, girl, don't do it. Don't do it, Belinda. No. And sure, we know Sheree is. He already crossed her out in his head as soon as he heard 100,000. He went into the meeting thinking he was going to be paid. He's an idiot. Yes. Business, you have to put money into it. That's expenses, your overhead, and then you want to see a profit eventually. Sometimes a business just breaks even the first couple years, but we know Martell doesn't have that mindset, though. This is too bad. It was giving like, but I think Miguel was just like, he on TV. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to have somebody on TV to sell these suits. Nah, bruh. But Miguel is about to see. And I hope their meetings, I hope more of them have been filmed so that we can see Miguel's reaction to what he's getting into. So then we see Lou and Tiffany talking, and again, we learned that she was just overexerting herself, needs to rest. She wasn't really feeling it. She said, I'll drink more water and I'll make sure that I eat. And Lou said, and you need to rest. So Lou doesn't really run his house, but I can tell he's hoping and praying that will change, because he tries to tell her, and you need to rest, and she gives him pushback. And then he says, He's trying to tell her, like, watch what you say. You got to not cross boundaries because then I got to deal with it. Because then when they go off on you, men checking you, then I got to step in. But if you would just not put me in that position, that would be nice. And, Tiffany is just like, well, that's your friends acting up. See, she thinks they're just acting up because they checked her and they're men and she's women. But she doesn't think like, she ever crosses boundaries. She never ever thinks that. It's just like whatever you say to her, you're wrong. You're wrong for calling her a Karen. You're wrong because you're men approaching me, a female and a pregnant female. And then she was just like, and Lou, you need to talk to your friends, automatically making him have to have an altercation or a confrontation with those men. But no, Tiffany, baby, you running your mouth. And if you weren't pregnant, it probably would have never had to escalate to the men because Sheree would have got you together. But because you're pregnant, now it has, it escalated. It involved more people. So let's see here. There was too much Martell in this episode for me to really enjoy it. Sickening. Yeah, and they even did the video montage of him wearing the different suits. I was like, why is this necessary? This is not MTV or BET or VH1. This is not a music video with Martell in it. That's what it was giving, though, the video montage of him in the different suits. Because only a small percentile of the 50% of their projected customer base will actually buy, and even less of a percentile will become repeat customers. This was not good business. But see, Virgo, you understand business and you are thinking of the bigger picture. But see, Miguel, he ain't even thinking of the bigger picture. Because he was like, okay, well, 50% of customers can afford your suits. Miguel, you should know you should not be satisfied with that. You should tell him maybe lower your price tag so that you can, appease to a larger customer base. And then maybe you can create a second line that's more high end. But see, we just watched a little 5-minute scene and we're already picking at it, finding the holes. I don't know why Lou, being respectful and not being a tyrant caveman, has been turned into Lou is not a real man. I've seen too many people implying that in comments. I think and it could be because it's Tiffany. Perhaps we all may have this inner desire where we want him to check her. But, he did handle it. He let Martell and Marcel know that they should not have approached her because she is a pregnant woman. And he was like, well, next time I'll approach your wife. He definitely handled it and let them know that he did not like it. But it just seems like he can't ever get through to Tiffany. And that's probably more so on her than him. She's not letting him, be the lead. She gives him pushback. The men should have known better than to come at Tiffany by herself. If they were real men, they wouldn't have been afraid to approach her in front of Big Lou. I know. And even say to Big Lou, can you have a talk with your wife? Because she said X, Y, and Z to Sheree. And then I think Lou would, because his reaction to her when she told him what she said, he was like, you said that? Sheree wasn't going to do ish. She always stammers in direct confrontation. She is a confessional gangsta. I know, but there were moments like with Sheree and Nene, or when they met at the winery about Tyrone. And, while you was running your mouth, I was running to the bank cashing Trump checks. I think in that scene, she talked about Nene's teeth being raggedy and stuff. So maybe that's a little point for her. They should not have spoken to her at all. Martell maybe, but Marceau definitely not. He jumped in it for sure. I prefer Lou over any of them three blockheads. They actually got her down there on false pretenses. Yeah, because she thought they were going to talk about Selma. What is up? What's up, Anonymous? Thank you for being here. Lou checked everyone. He checked his so-called friends and his wife as well. A lot of wives give their husbands pushback. He isn't her owner. He is her partner and husband. That's definitely a fact. And and that's probably like, because I grew up in a strict household. My dad is an Alabama man. My parents were older, so they were definitely old school in their thought process. And my dad, quote unquote, ran his house. And I grew up Baptist. So those are terms that I am used to hearing. So that's why those words kind of rolled off of my mouth. But I feel like she gave him pushback on everything that he suggested in this scene. And he's definitely not her owner, but she's like, well, no, I'm not gonna rest. I'll drink water. And she felt like just the men were wrong, that she had never crossed any boundaries. So that's why I feel like, yeah, he definitely doesn't get to lead or anything, because she gives pushback. Sheree's reads in person are lame 99% of the time. Great analysis, Virgo. I wish Big Lou hadn't hugged him at the end. Just say, keep my wife's name out your. I know he definitely. I don't think Lou wanted to keep on the confrontation. So he definitely brought it in, kind of did like a huddle, gave him a hug at the end. My dad was a traditional Yoruba man. Forgive me if I mispronounce. And he liked to believe he was in charge, but he lived with pushback every day and dealt with it. I know, and I respect that, because like in the household that I grew up in, my mom did not give any pushback. My dad felt like because he worked the two jobs that he did and he provided financially, what he said goes. But it's so ironic because I've never been married and I work for everything that I need. So it was, my life experience is total opposite of my mom's, but that was the marriage that I saw, I have to admit. So then we see where Melody and Kimmy, they arrive on time for the comeback meeting. And y'all have heard me say it before. I love the scenes where it's just Kimmy and Melody. I feel like Kimmy vicariously lives through Melody, her singlehood. And I think that from Kimmy's real life health crisis to watching Melody, I think she is like missing being single. Do y'all think that too? I think she's like, she may not ever will verbalize it, but I think she's like missing it. And, right here, she's talking about, your boo, who is he? And, Melody's like, oh, well, my vacation was nice. And I think you should definitely go to St. Part. And Kimmy's like, you just going to skip over what I said. You're just going to go left and I'm trying to go right. She was like, well, I feel like I don't have to share everything. And you're right, Melody. You have given us so much from sharing with us your heartache over being disrespected in your marriage, going through a turbulent divorce, us even knowing the side chick, because side chicks are just so vocal and they just are just so trashy and talk about everything and talk about their sex lives with married men in detail. You've shared more than enough with us, so if you want to keep the new boo secret, by all means, baby, do what you have to do, because you have shared more than enough. You are not like Destiny, who didn't really tell us anything about her marriage or her divorce. And you are not like the Scotts, who are out here fronting like they're getting all these big construction projects, and they won't even speak on the lawsuits that everyone knows due to the, incredible blogs. So Melody, if you want to keep something private, do it. Absolutely, 100%. So let me get back to the comments for a sec. Lou is an easygoing guy, and he is needed on this show. I can't deal with all these disgusting, misogynistic, ignorant cavemen. Exactly. Hey, Virgo, I have to meet a client. Keep the snakes away, Melody, 100%. If Kimmy was married to a better man, she would like being married a little better. Maurice does nothing to help Kimmy stress at home, at least very little. I know she is cooking and cleaning, and it just, I feel kind of bad. But I think like she wanted to be married. And I think like there's always this pressure, especially put on us. Like if you were raised in the church, you were raised Baptist, the church promotes marriage. And then they just kind of make sure that you have like that desire. They even like it if it kind of mutates into desperation, then they're happy about it. So then, I always say that I like their scenes. You add Sarah Jessica Parker, aka Carrie Bradshaw, and you've got a cool scene from Sex and the City. So I love their vibes. And this was like the other human that Kimmy was trying to get Melody to speak on. So I'm glad that Melody kept that life to herself private, especially since we know Martell is trying to make her tell him who she's dating. And I hope that it's never court ordered that she has to reach out to Martell first as the first babysitter option, because I've always felt like he low key just wants to use that to know her coming and going and what she's doing and who she's doing it with. Like, I don't think that he cares so much if the aunt is babysitting the kids or this person, or even so much, Marcus. I think that he just wants her to say, can you watch the kids this Friday? I'm going to Atlanta for a speaking engagement, and I'm going with me, my stylist, and my manager. Like, I think he wants to know all those details. And I think he's using the kids to be able to control and know those details about her life. So then we see the comeback crew come back, come back, no pun intended. And then Tish was like the last one to walk in. I just grabbed this screenshot. But they are discussing about how Tish and Marceau, they really think that they can get these people, Kimmy, who is a nurse, she's educated and a realtor, she has work experience, Melody, who is a social media influencer, she does property preservation, has a successful skincare line, and also does speaking engagements. She thinks that she can get these people to work their event for free and they will not pay them. This is something that Tish confirmed in this meeting that we saw. Now, I just want you all to know that that is ridiculous. Even from my experience of volunteering in church, when the women's ministry does like a health fair or any sort of like workshops, you pay your speakers. The speakers are built into the budget. The speakers are really like your biggest expense. And then after that, I would say paying for the food. Then after that, printing any programs or handouts that you want to give the attendees. You discuss the speaker's budget. And just like how, because Melody came up with the idea of getting sponsors, that's another thing that a church would do that I have taken the minutes for on the meetings. You go to the local businesses, the local hospitals, you ask them to sponsor, and then they pay for getting the programs printed up. And then you have money to pay for the speakers and the food. So they're already talking about getting sponsors and then not paying their speakers. It's just like highway robbery. And then you cannot tell me that they're going to take all of the money that they get from the sponsors to put 100% into this expo. You cannot convince me that that's going to be a thing, because we all know that Tish and Marceau are going to carve out some money for themselves, allegedly, and in my opinion. Of course, that's why he came up with that silly first right of refusal. It's not about the kids. It's about control and trying to stay in her business by any means necessary. Exactly. Tish and Marceau are clowns. Those two bumbleheads actually thought they could scam Kimmy and Mel. Even Martell was looking like, what? I know. Martell did say in his confessional that out of all of us here at this table, Melody has the largest social media influence. So it would make sense to pay her because she is going to make the program successful. And they're just trying to ignore that. So then when they all said that you all are taking the comeback group, you're giving it another name, the Black Expo, you're stealing our ideas. And then Melody said, you all are stealing my idea of getting sponsors. I've had mimosas with Melody. You all have never sponsored my events. Then Tish tried to say, well, I tried to support your skincare line, but I was escorted out. Tish, showing up to the premiere event is not sponsoring. It's not like you wrote Melody a check for having the event there at the venue. Did you help pay for that venue? It looked really nice. I doubt it. Did you do that? Because I'm sure you would have told us all. You would still be telling us right now that you helped pay for that. Sponsor means to write a check. And that's what she's saying that you have never done, Tish. But I could tell Tish did not get that. She did not get that showing up to an event is not the same as being a sponsor. She did not understand that at all. I think if Tisha and Marceau want Melody and the rest of the comeback group to participate for free, they should have a say in where the sponsorship money goes. All of the money. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then they would have to be able to see how much the sponsors are giving so that Marceau and Tish cannot lie. And I did not bother watching Marceau's interview with Carlos, but I've heard that he has even said, if you do not want any of us to copy your ideas, don't tell us because Tish and I will steal them. That's just ridiculous. Oh, you're welcome, Mizzy. I don't know which part it was, but you're welcome. And if they want them to work for free, make it a comeback group initiative. Martell told the truth for once, but it wasn't for Mel. At that time, he was still hopeful he would get child support as they were still going through the custody case. You're right, Virgo. He was looking out for himself. Word. So he could say to the judge, I even said it, that she brings in the money. Exactly. I agree. But I could tell Tish and them didn't get it. Marceau may have understood the difference between attending an event and sponsoring it, and then how they're just repurposing, trying to repurpose the comeback group. They don't even do what us content creators do. Like the way I stream IG lives and then I give my commentary on it. Or if I play the clips, although OWN and Bravo, they hate when I play those clips that run on Instagram and then I give my commentary. Marceau and Tish, they're not even doing that. They are literally creating a program where people can come and learn about reinvesting in North Huntsville. I'm sure the benefits of home ownership, something that the comeback group was already doing. So it's nothing new. So then I also wanted to share with y'all that Melody is having a like name ceremony to celebrate her taking back her maiden name. I am so excited for her. It's going to be this Saturday. It is, going to be an intimate affair. She's going to be inviting people. They're going to have food and cocktails and dancing. I am so happy for her. I can remember I was like a kid when one of my sisters divorced her husband. She did go out with her girls. I remember her saying that. So I'm glad she is like celebrating getting back to her original self. I'm sure it triggered Martell. I do have a screenshot of him commenting on a blog. And then I thought this was a beautiful picture of like the invite and then the envelope that it came in. I thought it was gorgeous. Her initials with the R popping out in the middle for Rogers. So then this is one of the blogs on Instagram where they play clips. And, I've made videos where I give commentary on the clip. But Martell was in the comments saying, well, court is over. Hello, Miss Rogers. He was trolling her. A lot of you women just love, saying that I'm trying to control her. Y'all are doing a lot. Stop running with everything. I am paraphrasing. But Martell felt a way to actually comment on a blog post. So you were trying to control her, Martell. And so what if court is over? You're just mad because she exposed what you tried to get out of her. She exposed the truth to counter all of your lying. Okay. So I am going to drop the link. I'm going to probably like, especially if there's a lot of over talking, I'll just like, maybe call on certain people to speak, but hopefully I'm sure we'll just let everyone finish out our thoughts so we don't have to forget. Let me know what you thought of the episode. I know that I do enjoy the chemistry amongst the comeback group. I do feel like that core six, I like hearing about them talk about possible business ventures. Again, like with the Scotts, it's just hard to take them serious because we know more about their business affairs and they're just not being real about it and not talking about it on the show. I just I don't like that. If you're going to be on a reality TV, why don't you keep it a buck? That's just all I'm saying. If you're going to be on a reality TV show. And then also with the comeback group, with this meeting and Marceau talking about it's greed to want to be paid for speaking. No, greed is when you commit fraud because you want more and more money. You're not satisfied with what you have, so you actually commit a financial crime to get more. That would be greed. But to actually provide a service and you would want to be paid for it, that's not greed. That's normal. That's business. What's up, Virgo? How you doing? I think you're muted. You want me to unmute you?
Yeah, I'm good. I had to. mute the TV. Sorry, I didn't want the echo. Hi,
Oh,
Ebony.
hi, how are you, dear?
I'm well. I'm well. These clowns. I'm sorry. I can't. These clowns.
They are.
I'm sorry. Tisha and Marceau should please stop telling people they're in business. They don't even understand the basics of business
Right.
because it's crazy to me how you can think that speakers, and then the fact that they delineated it and they said, oh, other speakers will get paid. Oh, but you guys won't. Why?
That's crazy.
That makes no sense to me.
It
So you
doesn't
can pay you can pay other speakers, but you just can't pay them. Why?
because they don't
And
want
if
to
you
pay
did,
Melody.
no, it's not just the thing is, yeah, they want to use me. No, I think Marceau is more in it for the money. It's about the money for Marceau. I think when it comes to paying Melody, I think as at the last meeting, Marceau wasn't going to pay anybody because it's all he needs all the money to himself. Do you understand? And then for what I think Tisha was irritated the last meeting when Kimmy kept saying some people have more influence than others. And then she snapped and was like, we all have influence. And it was like, yeah, but some people have more than others. And for her, the fact that Melody would be paid more than somebody else or something along those lines, Marceau is not going to allow that because it's not about North Huntsville for Marceau. It's about the money. They need the money. And Tisha isn't going to allow that simply because she refuses to accept that Melody is not on her level. Even though she knows she isn't on her level, for her, she feels like that's the ultimate, that's what everybody constantly says to her. That Melody isn't on your level in business, in life, in any way. And for her, paying Melody is accepting that. And she would rather cut off her face to cut off her nose to spite her own face. And for me, it's like if you do know how to do business, then you know you have to take some hits. You keep telling everybody to put their egos aside. The only egos at play right now are yours.
What's up, pretty brown eyes? Thank you for being here.
Hello,
Hey,
Queens.
pretty brown eyes. Hey,
It's good to
it's
hear your
been
voice
so
again,
long.
Virgo.
Same here.
Love your
It's been
accent.
so long. Thank you.
Well, I guess I'll just jump in and piggyback off of what Virgo was saying. Did y'all notice that Maurice was sitting up there like he was in agreement with Kimmy and everything she was saying? But then he bust out and turned on her and said, I don't think that anybody should be paid.
Yeah.
You know, he did the same thing that Martell used to do with Melody. And I think that, in my opinion, I think that Maurice and Marceau are in it together to get whatever money, and that they're going to split it on the back end.
Hmm.
Because why would he say nobody? I don't think that anybody should be paid.
Yeah. And
Their whole. Go ahead, go ahead.
do you think like is in the dark about it?
I
Uh-huh.
do. I do. And see, that's what I'm saying. Kimmy did her research and pulled up the bylaws and all of the paperwork about the comeback group. And basically what they want is they want black, air quote, to get credit for, and get the sponsorship money, but they want to go under the premise of the comeback group so that they don't have to pay anybody that's involved in the comeback group. It's almost like a guilt Martell and Melody, really, because those are the only two that have any type of celebrity credibility at that table. Let's be honest. I mean, Marceau and Tisha, in the height of their uh, celebrity, if you will, they only raised $100 in something that they were doing. So they need Mel, but they're too prideful and too hateful to admit it. And how can you sit up here and say it's greedy when you're the epitome of greed, you and your wife.
Hmm.
So if that's your opinion, then my opinion is I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna shake the table, I'm gonna knock some stuff over and walk out of this bull crap.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
So
brown
that's what
eyes.
I was
I
thinking.
I really agree with you, but I see it a whole not totally different, slightly different. What
Mhm.
I think it's very similar to what you're saying, but I also think that Maurice does that thing that Martell used to do, where he and Melody would discuss something at home. They would
Yeah,
agree to something, and then they would come to the meeting, and then Martell would switch up on her because
that's
there's
what I was saying. That's
yeah,
what
that's right.
Maurice
That's
did
yeah,
with Kimmy. Yep.
yeah. That's why I was saying that. That's how I agree with you because I think the part of them sharing the money sounds like them, but I'm not sure that's what's happening in this case
Hmm.
because I think that Maurice is just a lick ass. I think his head is so far up his younger brother's ass. It's unbelievable. I don't think he has an original thought that is his own that Marceau didn't put there. I don't think his. I think when Marceau farts is when he breathes. I
Oops.
think his spinal cord is made of jelly. I don't think he's a man. The only person he bucks up to is Kimmy. He can't even buck up to Kyla. The only person he bucks up to and puffs his chest at is Kimmy. I
Right.
believe that he felt a ways about the whole thing because the last meeting, when Marceau said something to the effect of, "Oh, it seems as if we're trying to take advantage of you," and he was like, "Yes, it does." So he feels that way. He's in 100% agreement with Kimmy. But the thing is, once he gets around his brother and Tisha,
Mm-hmm.
the spinal cord becomes jelly again. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, the more they kept saying the bull crap that was coming out of their mouths, he started getting irritated. And you could see his face beginning to change, which is why he said, and then Kimmy, when Kimmy said that's a comeback group idea, remember Kimmy and Mel were saying that he always wanted to be the president
Of
of the
course.
comeback group. So
Mm-hmm.
immediately that clicked in his head and he was like, oh my God, this is true. Then he went into the whole comeback thing and that's when he got irritated. But other than that, and even if they were to make money, I think even he knows his brother enough to know that the only person who will know how much they actually made in sponsorship will be Marceau. Even Tisha won't know.
Nope.
Because the way Kimmy was talking, you would know that they had discussions in their home. They had pillow talk on how greedy Marceau is.
Yes, ma'am. I agree completely. You just it's just the way that you eloquently spoke
Thank
my
you.
thought. But yeah, I think that's exactly what Maurice does. He puts Kimmy on the spot as soon as she gets in front of everybody. And Tisha is just so hell
Ugh.
bent in against Melody that it doesn't really matter what they say. They were upset at Melody for even saying, "Oh, you know, what's your price for the speakers?" See, they hadn't even thought any of it out. They were just too busy trying to cut and paste the comeback group, but take credit for it that they didn't even look into what it's going to really take
Take.
to put
Event
a
together.
event together. Yeah,
Yeah,
they can't pull it off.
I
And I
agree.
mean, it's
Because
like, okay, Melody mentioned, okay, well, you can get sponsored. Now all
Hmm.
of a sudden they talking about sponsorships, but that was Melody's idea. And y'all are
Yeah.
using the sponsorships to get, he saw dollar signs when she said sponsorships. So yeah,
Yes.
y'all using the
yep,
dollar the sponsorships to put the to put it together, and you're wanting to use Mel and Martell to be the draw.
Yeah. Exactly.
And either way, y'all don't want to pay nobody because y'all are greedy and want all of the money for yourself.
They want to keep the money themselves, right? I agree with you 100%. Pretty Brown Eyes. They hadn't had a thought about speakers, and when she said sponsors, they were like, "Oh," and then we can
hmm.
keep the money ourselves. And I can tell they sit at home and say, "I don't want to pay Melody nothing. She got enough money now. Look at
Well, that's
Kitty
what he
charging."
said. I don't want to give money to anybody who doesn't need it. Did you hear that?
I didn't
Yep.
peep her saying who doesn't
That's what he
need.
Oh,
said.
that's what she said. That's what he said. He said he doesn't think anybody here really needs it. So he's not ready to pay anybody who doesn't need the money, which is when Martell replied, what does that mean? What do you mean by
Yeah,
they need more? What do you mean by that?
and
The
that
thing
doesn't make
is,
sense. We're providing a service. They should get paid.
yeah, but they both have different agendas. Both
Yeah,
Marceau's agenda is he wants the money, he needs the money. The other one, the wife, her issue is I'm not giving Melody any shine. Because the
Period.
second we
mhm,
pay Melody, we are acknowledging that she's bigger than us. And
Yep.
even though in my head I know this is true, I refuse to admit it. I refuse to accept it. So the only
yeah,
thing I will do is just continue saying, no, I'm not paying. No,
Yeah.
I'm not paying.
And they were
And
so rude about it.
they were
yeah.
so entitled. They spoke like and then the way Marceau manipulates and gaslights Tisha. That idiot had the audacity to bring that foolishness to actual intelligent women. He was saying that anybody that wants to get paid is greedy. Boy, sit down. You want to take all the money, you're not greedy. And then the
Right.
funniest one was, oh, that they will sponsor future events. Okay, what does that mean? Now let me, because they both said two different things. Dum Dum A said, we will give the money to people to businesses in North Huntsville. That was Dum Dum A. That's what Dum Dum A said. That was what they were thinking. Then Dum Dum B said, we will sponsor your future events. Now, what that means in layman's terms is just do this for me now. When I get the
Mhm.
money, I can break you off a little something later.
Yeah. And both were
That's what that just
lied.
means.
Yeah, to even say you're
Exactly.
gonna put it back in the community, or that was a lie. Then if you're gonna now
That was
sponsor
not true.
future events,
Which
So
they'll
how much money?
conveniently find a way to fall out over, and then
Of
it'll
course.
never happen.
right?
The only reason Tisha is playing nice right now is because she needs them to do this for her.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the truth. These people are ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I can't. It's just silly at this point. As in, I don't know. But this was a good episode. I'm not gonna lie.
What do y'all think about Donna D's comment? Donna D says, I can see Kimmy and Melody going into business together, dealing with real estate, etc. As for the rest of the comeback group, I could do without them. Do you think those two would ever do a venture together?
Nope.
I don't.
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you, pretty nice.
Not as long as Maurice is involved. No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Melody will
As
never
long
work
as
with Kimmy with Maurice involved, and
never,
that's her husband, so he's going to be involved. So
Yeah.
no.
never.
Mm, that's too bad.
Unless no, never, ever in life, never.
She'll point her in the right direction and give her a contact or two,
Yeah.
but she's not going to directly invest her money or anything into Kimmy.
With this, because she's a Scot. That's a very good
Correct.
point. Because she did introduce Kimmy to the real estate and investor who buys rental properties. She said, and Kimmy does closing. She can facilitate your closing. That was very nice of Melody.
Yeah,
But
but Melody does that for them all the time. They just
yep.
refuse to acknowledge it. This
Yeah,
isn't the first time she's done stuff like that for them. They just
right.
refuse to acknowledge it or give her flowers.
Exactly.
They don't want to ever make it seem like she's bigger than them, because at the first comeback meeting, when Melody was trying to talk, Tisha kept over talking her, so she couldn't even get her point out about how much she charges or what needs to be done or
Did
whatever.
Did you see how Tisha lied about sending that email out?
Of course.
Did you? And then when everybody
Yeah.
was looking at her like, you didn't send any email, then she now said, well, I'm not here to point fingers. I'm like, Trick, you just said you sent the email out.
You know why
You
she
just
didn't
said you
send it,
sent it.
Virgo? Because that would be a way of seeing what Melody is actually worth when she sees that Melody charges anywhere between 20 to $10,000 to $20,000 for speaking events.
Right. They wanted to know her rate.
One,
Good point.
And
They
that would
weren't
hurt her. That
interested
would
in
hurt
her
her. That
rates
would hurt her pride more than anything
even
because
more.
she couldn't afford Melody.
Facts. And then
Yeah.
secondly, because Marceau was never willing to pay anybody in the first place. So whether she sent her rates across, whether she didn't send them across, Marceau is not doing this for the people of North Huntsville. Marceau doesn't care about the people of Huntsville. And let's be realistic. They're saying that these are the people that support Melody. If we are being honest, I don't know how much sales she does in Huntsville, but I know for a fact that most of her business is online sales. And it's not just people in Huntsville. She gets majority of her support from outside of Huntsville. So using that emotional manipulation and trying to make her feel like she's a bad person who doesn't want to help the people in her in her community. I'm just like, we say all the time that Marceau gaslights and manipulates Tisha. Tisha is the same thing as her husband. I'm sorry.
Yep. She's the
They
same
are
person.
the same person. And they deserve each other. And she deserves every manipulative, gaslighting, toxic, nasty thing he does to her because she's the exact same thing. And then I'm going to mute myself now because I'm waiting for us to talk about Kiki. Then
Oh,
I
well,
will unmute
you can
myself.
switch it. I didn't have anything else to add. We pretty much killed that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Go ahead. Go talk about Kiki.
Now, I'm sorry. I'm kind of like a skeptic by nature. I'm very cynical. Does anybody truly believe this trash that Kiki is putting out that Tiffany is the one who released
No.
that information? Thank you.
No,
Oh, pretty
ma'am.
brown eyes, I have missed you
No,
so much.
me and you are the same. I never
We're
trust Kiki
always
from
the
a long
same.
time ago. Nope.
I remember it was you and I. The second I said it, you were like, you too. I remember. Yes, thank God. Everybody likes Kiki.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, to each his own.
More power
Yeah.
to you, babes. You'll learn.
I think it's the family dynamic. I think like some of the trifling stuff that Wanda has said about her, it just like I feel bad for the girl. And then sometimes when she goes live on IG, I think she's trying to please everybody all at once. And just do you. Do you. And I feel like she's trying to like not go there with family members. She's trying to please viewers. I think she's wondering like, why y'all think I don't bring it or I don't do this or do that? I think she should just do her and go from there. But yeah, a lot of people, I know some of y'all don't trust her.
Well, my thing with Kiki is this: when Kiki had the chance to stand up for Mel and just
Boom.
answer a simple question at the reunion, do you
Boom.
think that
Ah,
that Marceau said the thing to Mel and Martell out of spite and to hurt you, or however they worded it? And she said she went
no.
around the mulberry bush and back again and still didn't admit it that she knew it was hurtful. She said she didn't think that it was hurtful after a
Exactly.
2-minute diatribe about nothing. So that in fact made Melody look stupid because Melody's
Thank
in
you.
the hot seat for defending her ass.
Yeah.
Thank
So, oh,
you.
sorry for cursing, but she's
No,
in
it's
the hot seat for defending her and telling what was said behind the scenes. Martell was never going to admit it, but he sat right there and his face said that he knew that it was malicious, but he's so against Melody that
he wouldn't
he wouldn't
speak the
ever
truth.
admit it. So
Mhm.
Melody is left there to defend herself on her own. So even from there, I didn't trust her. And then after Wanda went crazy and was talking all this stuff and going on interviews talking about Kiki, even talking
Mhm.
about Kiki grandma, and
Yeah.
told
Oh,
Kiki,
thank you.
I dare you to say something about me and my daughter. If you do, you're gonna regret it. And when Kiki did her live, everybody anticipated. Guess what Kiki did? Shut her mouth and did not say one word about nothing. So Kiki can go to hell with, oh, I'm gonna tell y'all watch the show. No,
Go
Kiki.
by.
Kiki is always dangling a carrot, kind of like that old phrase to say, you want to keep. Do you know how to keep an idiot in suspense? I'll tell you later. Remember that one? That's what
Uh-huh.
she does. She keeps everybody in suspense to give nothing. I don't doubt that she
Thank
knows
you.
something, but she's never going to really turn on her cousin.
Right.
Thank you.
I think that control is there, like the whole you respect your elders, yada yada yada. So I think she just wants who's cooking? You scrambling eggs?
I'm
So
sorry, that was me.
Not me.
Sorry. That's me.
that's okay. It sounds like you
I'm eating eggs.
can
I made me an egg bagel, an egg and cheese bagel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
but no,
making
I
Scotch
just don't.
eggs.
I just don't trust her because every chance she gets, she turns on it, and she knew what Tisha was going through back and forth, and she could have easily put that to bed and cleared Melody's name, but she didn't do it. She left it open and vague.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to build on what you said and I'm going to take it a bit further back. First things first, for me, this is when I started side eyeing Kiki. Kiki said, first of all, Kiki's first appearance to us was when she came to Tisha's graduation and was trying to check Kimmy for not
Mm.
supporting Tisha's lie about Mel. Strike one. She left. Left for 2 years or something. She came back, but she came back as Mel's friend this time around, right? According to Kiki, Kiki and Tisha were not talking because the first scene we saw of Tisha and Kiki was Kiki saying, "But you hurt me first, and I've held that inside for a long time." But and then Tisha said, "But I apologized for that." Am I right? Yes.
You're right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Then so that happened, and then they quote unquote made up. Before that scene aired, Wanda had gone on an entire diatribe online saying she was meant to have been AB'd, calling her mom all kinds of 304s, everything. Now, my
Mhm.
question is, if Kiki did not believe that that Marceau said it to be malicious, why was she quarreling with her cousin?
That's a good question because that's why they were beefed out because she didn't like it that they told the Holtz that she had an addiction and you better hide your all your medicines and stuff.
Exactly.
But
So if you
yeah,
didn't think if you didn't think it was malicious, why were you upset that it
and,
kept you guys apart for so long?
and
Why?
at the
Because
reunion they asked her and she said the Marceau that she knows wouldn't have said it maliciously. Going back to Pretty Brown's example when she had that
the same
opportunity.
Marceau that she was about to go off on at the
Hmm.
Bessemer thing when she was saying, "I will release the information," and he said, "I dare you." That same Marceau was not being malicious, but you and Tisha had not been speaking for a while because you were offended. If you knew it wasn't malicious, why were you offended? One,
I
two.
think. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, continue. No, let's iron out one, then we can move to two.
I was gonna say I do think that Wanda and Marceau, they're masters at applying pressure to Kiki, even when she is feeling froggy before she leaps. They know how to apply that pressure and shut it down. Unfortunately,
No,
you don't think
Kiki is not Kiki. I think no. For me, then I'm going to tell you the instances and why I feel the way I feel, and then I'll take it back to another thing that I think. Remember, I said last year, Prissy Barnard, is that I feel that Kiki is coming on the show to defend her cousin, and that
Yep.
she was using Mel. I said it.
Hmm.
Fantastic.
I feel that way too. Yes.
Yeah, this was all a scheme that Marceau set up to come at us with the BS.
Yep.
This was pre-planned because remember Tisha also said it when she did her interview with Carlos that what's it called that Kiki was always the person who wanted to be on TV, that she never wanted to be on TV, that it was always Kiki. And Carlos said something to the effect of the reason why he even took that the reason why he wanted Marceau and Tisha on the show was because Marceau was hilarious. So it was Tisha wasn't auditioning to come on the show. Marceau wanted it more than Tisha did. So if so, all of a sudden, first of all, you came to the thing to come and defend your cousin. People dragged you for absolute filth, and then you went and then you came back this time as Mel's friend because Mel was the person who was willing to bring you back. And you said it. I still don't think what she said at Mel's Christmas dinner was a big deal.
It wasn't.
I still don't think it was. Never have, never will. But then you now say to your cousin that, oh yeah, I feel that way. You've done this to me as well. So were you being malicious or weren't you? Moving on. Then after all that, she came out and put up this whole episode, wrote a whole thesis about who her grandfather is, about who her mother is, her grandmother is, and how horrible what Wanda said was about her, and coming for her mom and all that. And then by the end of the season, you didn't think Marceau was being malicious. And by this season, you and Wanda are cool. 1. 2, I'll not take it from another angle. The first time I heard about this whole Tisha, about Kiki's picture being for stealing something, allegedly stealing something, it was a male blogger that was doing the expose, according to him. And according to him, well, he didn't, I can't remember whether he said it or he implied it, that he was in contact with Kiki, right? And then he said it that, oh, this is something that the Moors set up. The Moors are Wanda and her best clan. Then that was a given. Then all of a sudden, after you and Tiffany had your issues, when everybody was writing for you, it was not an issue. Tiffany wasn't the one that set it up. But the second you went too far and people had an issue with what you said about her father, I didn't, about her not knowing her father, but some people did. And then you've seen that people don't like Tiffany this season. People didn't like you last season.
Right.
So it's easy to pile on Tiffany. People already don't like Tiffany this season for various reasons. So it's easy for you to say it's Tiffany. But when that person who was allegedly in contact with you was revealing the story and saying that Marceau allegedly had contacts at Home Depot and that he was like, it's possible that he was the one that released it. And then you had already gone, I saw Kiki go to Home Depot. She had gone to the same exact Home Depot. She had walked in, she had walked out, thereby effectively debunking the story that it didn't happen. It wasn't her. So all that months later, you now decide it was Tiffany who released the information to a blogger that is very close to your aunt. And the other blogger who was saying it before, that it was Marceau and them, also corroborated that, yes, they have information that it was Marceau and them. But now the person is also saying that is Tiffany. It's too convenient for me. I don't like it. It's too convenient. They found a scapegoat because people have an issue with Tiffany. And Tiffany is the easiest person for them to blame for this because Tiffany does not have a fan base. Tiffany has no fan base whatsoever. There's nobody that's going to try and fight for her. People don't like her already. People don't really mess with her like that. They've never liked her. And unfortunately for her, she's biracial, she's loudmouth, she's annoying in of her own right. And she came on this show annoying everybody. So nobody was going to fight for her. And then, did you notice when Tisha said that Tiffany is using pretty privilege? They both have a problem with Tiffany.
Yep.
And I strongly believe that they are cool, that they are just coming at us with the BS because they want to get rid of Tiffany. And that's how I see it.
Now, Kiki, she talks opposite, like Tiffany. She says, like Tiffany felt insecure, like when they kind of made Kiki main cast and Tiffany almost was talked to, like her job was on the line. That's why she's starting all this stuff. But I got a question about like the Home Depot leak or whatever. So I thought this week when they were saying, and you know, a couple weeks ago when Tiffany was leaking things to the bloggers, I thought they were saying it like she's doing it in real time, like right now. I didn't think it was when the Home Depot story first came out. Are they trying to say Tiffany, she was the one who did it initially a couple months ago? I thought that was allegedly the Scotts. And then this week, she contacted the blogs to try and get them to hype it back up. And am I misunderstanding? Is Kiki and them saying that Tiffany originally leaked it a couple months ago?
Well, my take on it, they're saying that Tiffany released it, but I'm thinking that it was given to her from Tisha or someone in her camp, and she took the bait and released it. So it's almost like how they say, don't nothing beat the cross but the double cross.
Okay.
So
They used
they
Tiffany.
they used Tiffany to do it, and by her doing it, they discredit her with everybody and get her knocked off the show all at the same time.
Yeah. Mm.
I
But
don't even think Tiffany did it at all. I don't think
I
Tiffany
wouldn't
did
doubt.
it at all.
I'm not convinced that Tiffany didn't do it. I'm leaning towards she did right now, but I thought it was like two. I thought the same story has been released twice. Like I thought it was originally the Scotts kind of leaking it out there a couple months ago, and then Tiffany tried to rile it back up recently. That was how I interpreted it. But I see Pretty Brown Eyes. Her perspective is they used her period to get it out there, and they
Right,
used her whole
to
thing.
really
Why
add,
use Tiffany to give it to somebody that? Why use Tiffany to give it
to
to
try to
somebody that
hide their
So
wasn't
they
even
hand,
don't
interested?
get
Virgo.
to hide there, so they don't
They
look bad.
they hide their hands.
Hmm.
They hide their
When
hands.
has Tiffany ever released information about anybody on this cast? Let's be real. I don't think bloggers even like Tiffany enough for Tiffany to release information to any blogger. And Tiffany is anything but stupid. She's a very savvy businesswoman. There's no way
Well,
in hell she would
well, they
actually release
have.
that information and have it traced back to her.
Well, I'm not sure, but I just think that she was trying to be a follower, and she didn't like Kiki, and she was down with the tea, and she got some information from a source, air quote, and ran with it. Maybe she didn't ever before, but her job is on the line. So she has to come up with something to stay besides the baby, because they really kind of danced over the fact that she had the baby outside of her being messy, being pregnant. You know, that was she was they called for her job last year, and then she just surprisingly was pregnant. So it's just a whole bunch of a big old the big scheme is they want to hurt Mel. So anybody who even resembles an ally for her, they're going to somewhat try to get them off the show so that Melody is the one man island or one woman island on the show.
Yeah. And Tiffany and Kiki both film with her and both don't have a beef with Mel.
Correct. And Wanda, see, the thing about Wanda is, or Uncle, she talks too much. And although she spews a lot of garbage, some of the stuff that she says you could take with a grain of salt, and she's also telling, because she told on there that Kiki and Tisha had made friends, and I wouldn't be surprised with her wanting to be so cool with that side of the family. Remember, she was always forbade to be around them, so she had to wait till she was 18 because Tisha and them was never good enough in their family's eyes to be associated with Kiki or around Kiki. You know, they were from the other side of the tracks. So she always probably in her mind wanted to be accepted by them, and that was their way to be accepted. But the thing, what comes with that acceptance is you got to turn on Mel.
But the
That's
thing is, Kiki's job is not even in dispute right now because she's Carlos's darling for the
What?
season. And
Well, you
according to Carlos, she gets even messier as the season goes along.
right, and you know what Carlos also said when he was doing the interview with Justin. He said that Kiki and Tisha are the new Melissa and Teresa from New Jersey.
Oh,
So
goodness.
he's bringing them on, bringing Kiki on to fight with against Tisha.
Yep.
So that's why he casted her, and that's why you said Virgo. That's correct. That's her darling, because he thinks that that drama with them is going to raise the ratings. But what he doesn't realize is that it's going to be just like the Bessemer Hillbilly episode. You have everybody built up this anticipation for a showdown, and she don't say nothing because really, in all actuality, from the beginning of the show, she hasn't said anything. She
Hmm.
hasn't offered any new details, any information against Tisha. She hasn't.
I don't think she will. Because,
Me
like that,
either. I don't either.
because when Miss Wanda was showing her potatoes and she was acting like she was going to talk about Marceau cheating, Marceau started yelling at her and cutting her off. They're good at interrupting people to where you just say, well, forget it. Like, they're good at that. And they did that to Kiki. They did that to Mel at the season 5 reunion. That was when she called him the legs, hips, and breasts. But Kiki was looking like she was going to out Marceau. And then I think he was able to put some intimidation on her.
Well,
She
they bought and set Uncle Wanda out there to
Mhm.
intimidate her.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie The Godfather?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the court scene when the snitch was getting ready to testify and they flew his uncle in from Italy and sat him on the front row when the guy was getting ready to testify
Yeah.
and he recanted?
Mm-hmm.
It's something about when that family member is there. You could talk all that junk in the background,
Yeah.
but when you're faced with that person, it's a different story because for some reason Kiki is intimidated by Wanda, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think, Virgo? Oh, she
Sorry,
must.
I was. Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, she
Yeah,
tuned me up.
no, I didn't tune you out. I'm eating something, and I didn't
Oh,
want you to record you, so I had to mute myself. Then I had to swallow. No, I don't think so. I don't think she's intimidated by Wanda. I think she just wants to be on TV by any means necessary. Tisha has never had a storyline. She will talk about anything but Marceau's affairs. So if the feud can be between her and Mel is not feuding with her anymore. Even if she wants to feud with Mel, Mel is not going to feud with her. So what is Tisha
mm,
outside of a Mel feud and her marriage?
nothing
Tisha's
because
uninterested. There's nothing about Tisha that anybody cares about. You can't talk about your husband's, your marriage and your husband's affairs. Mel isn't going to feud with you anymore. Kimmy doesn't even take you seriously. So what else is there to do? We all know you're not a businesswoman already. So the only thing left is a Kiki Tisha feud.
yeah,
That way, Kiki gets to stay on the show. Kiki gets to stay on the show, and so does Tisha. Do you understand? Kiki is
of
too thirsty
course.
for my liking. Too thirsty.
Instant storyline.
Look at Stormy. Even Stormy has decided to involve the rest of her family, a la Candy and the OLG, but the WWE um, version, just to stay on the show.
Now, Stormy's family, I think they go at it for real. I don't think nothing got to be hyped up about that. I think they are
Yes,
combative with each other naturally.
but do you have to have it televised? No.
No.
Do
Mm-mm.
you understand? No. The choice to have it televised is for a storyline.
But I
Do you
do think
understand? It's
they'll
for
go
a
at it.
storyline. So they will go at it. But it's not because what's it called? This is something that your family has issues. You don't have to have it televised. You don't have to have it recorded. You don't have to have cameras come and pick up your mom and her sister fighting. If you
Right.
really came on the show, according to Stormy, Stormy said she came, she wanted to go, she reached out to Mel
Yep.
so that Mel can
Product
promote her
placement. Be an
product
ambassador.
placement. So she said, according to her, all her interviews, she doesn't care about being on TV as long as her business gets a lot of recognition. How many times does the one time she spoke about her business was when we were seeing how they don't have labels, they had 5,000 back orders. Nothing about what she has shown about her business is positive. The only thing she continues saying is she's worth her business did $40 million in 1 year. What is your business about? What is your business about exactly? So in what way are you promoting your business? I don't see you going to Walmart having meetings. You understand? Even if the Walmart executives might not allow you actually film the meetings, but they allow can you do it? I don't see you going into meetings. I don't see you going in to talk to stockists. I don't see you doing all of that. The only thing I see you in is mess. So technically, you did not come on this show to promote your business. And
Nope.
as if your own mess is not enough, you're creating new stupid mess with Mel. You're you're blindsiding your husband about having a child that you didn't discuss before the cameras came around, and his reaction was suffice to show that you didn't discuss it with him. You brought your mother on to be the new, improved, jet-packed, disgusting wonder, and then now you're bringing your aunt. You've embarrassed your cousin, who I don't think ever worked for you. You brought your cousin on to show that you were going to fire him, and then you're bringing your aunt on. What about this has to do with Canvas Beauty? Since that's why you really wanted to be on the show, I understood the whole having a baby storyline. That's part of her story. I don't understand the point of her mother on this show. I don't see the point of your mother not liking Mel. Nobody cares. Then why is your aunt on this show? Why are you bringing your aunt? You're just going to destroy your brand because you want to be seen?
Yep.
But you
Well,
can tell Stormy does not have a mindset for protecting your brand. She don't think like that at all, or else she would not have gone off like she did on Black Titanic. You could like that doesn't she never thinks about that she could be destroying her brand. That's not even on her radar.
Stormy's an idiot, allegedly.
Exactly. No, it's not alleged. It's a fact. She's a moron. She's an idiot. There's no way on God's green earth I'm worth that much money. My business is doing as well as she claims hers is, and I'm coming on a reality TV show to act an ass. I'm not doing it.
But I always said that I never thought that Stormy had the money. I
I
always thought that she was just running a Ponzi, just a well, not even that well put together Ponzi, allegedly, because it's like she got the big contracts, allegedly, and that's all people see. And she says she made all of these millions, but when you go back to around the time when she came to Huntsville and bought her home and all of this, she got like 80,000 in PPP loans and this, that, and the third. Around the same time that she purchased her home. So who's to say that she actually made the millions from the Canvas Beauty? Who's to say she even really made that much? Because her overhead is way
just
more than what she has,
nope.
because if she was making it, she wouldn't be moving from warehouse to warehouse. That's one. She wouldn't be renting a warehouse. That's two. And she'd pay her employees and have these products out. So it's like she got the money from the people from the e-commerce orders to pay for the products and stuff to be made, the distribution for the Walmart stuff. And now, you don't really recoup all of the money up front from the big retailers. You don't really see the profit in that for some time, because you're only getting a small percentage. So, in all actuality, how is she really making these millions when she's not fulfilling any orders and she's in stores, according to her? But I've been in CVS's, I've been in Targets, I've been in Walmart's, in here as well as, and here is Orlando. I've been in Targets in Tampa, in Boca, and in Memphis, Tennessee, and I haven't seen a Canvas beauty product anywhere.
I actually went to look for her products.
That's
I
what I'm
checked
saying.
in
I looked.
Maryland, I checked in DC, I checked in Arizona, I checked in different stores. I checked CVS, Walmart, Target. Nope. Because I wanted to actually buy it to test it. I actually wanted to just buy it to test it, but I didn't see it anywhere. Now, I agree with you, 85%. But I think what it what I think her issue is I think she did make the money. I don't think she made 40 million, but I think she made a good chunk of change. The problem with her is I don't think she's that business savvy. And according to her, it was Courtney who was like the driving force behind them doing what they're doing, which means that Courtney is the one that has the slightly more business savvy mind. I think her problem is she scaled up too fast.
Yes, she bit off more than
I
she
think
could chew.
exactly.
Definitely did.
She believes that she scaled up too fast, and she cannot handle, she can't fulfill the promises she has made. And she's also, and I think it's possible that her margins aren't that high. So she's trying to claw every piece of profit she can get, which is a bad idea if you're in business with like a Walmart, Target, CVS, all those people, because they don't care about your profit. They're taking a percentage of gross. They don't care. This is how much we're taking, make it work. That's your business. It's about for those stores, the chain stores, it's about turnover. It's about how fast your
Mhm.
products can sell it, get your money back. But the
Yeah.
thing about her is that because when I saw her warehouse, showing her warehouse was a big mistake. That was when I stopped taking her seriously. How can you, according to you, have all these orders? You're 5,000 back ordered. You have so many doors in all these stores. You don't have one automate. Not one process is automated. You're still the labels have to be almost finished before you create new labels. Every human being that does business, I'm not even as large as you, and I get my orders in bulk from China.
That's what I was thinking. I was just about to say, I'm surprised she don't have no interactions with overseas, and she's got all these orders to fulfill. That really surprised me.
And I have a standing order. Sometimes I just get debited and they send my labels, and I'm like, oh, these have come. So if I'm not as big as you are and I have those processes in place, according to you, you're this big and you're waiting for the labels to almost run out before you order new ones. And then people have to fill the orders by hand. First, they have to fill the orders by hand, which for me is weird because they're filling that many orders by hand. And then they have the same people that are packing the orders, that are filling the product, are labeling the product, are still the ones packing the orders.
Yep.
And they're telling you they need more hands, and you're saying you're not working at full capacity. You have 5 staff to fill all those orders. According to you, Walmart needs 20,000. This place needs 15,000. You expect 5 people to fill almost 30,000 packages? Are
That
you mad?
must have been that
That's why
must have
she's
just
keeping
been
it
her crew for online orders, because there's just no way those people could meet with Walmart demands. There's no way.
Well, she's trying to do it. That's why I don't believe that they're in that many stores because you can't find her products anywhere. I
Yeah,
see the Millie stuff that looks just like hers everywhere I went.
yeah. She never mentions China, and it's like it's people on Shark Tank who already has products that are first created in China and they ship them over. So how come she doesn't do that? It's got to be cap. She either capping when we see her warehouse, or they're just doing her online orders. Though that staff that we saw, because there's no way.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what, too much what she has going on, but like a lot of them on that show are fake business people and they're just going out of their way to try to compete with Mel, in my opinion. I just feel like anything that Melody does, they try to top her and they're hurting themselves in the process. Now, even like when Martell sat down with the suit retailer, he's telling him, okay, well, you have a $700 price point. Okay, the average working man is not going to be able to afford a $700 suit. And if he's going to buy a $700 suit, he's going to go ahead and order a custom suit from somebody local that they know. They're not going to buy a suit just because, excuse me, Martell Holt is wearing a suit. I mean, yeah, he looks decent in a suit, but everything else that he represents is bad. And if he's knocking out 50% of the people who could potentially buy from him, he's counting on 100% of the 50% that would buy it to buy it. And who's to say that they would buy his stuff?
Exactly.
So it's like it don't make sense. They don't make sense, but they want to hurry up and say, well, at least I got a deal because they see Melody making deals. Now, when she collabed with Jay Bolin, those were reasonably priced items, like 39, 40.
Yeah.
Maybe something was $100, but that's on average what we're gonna pay for like a nice, a nice item.
Mm-hmm.
For an outfit, and it's reasonably priced. That's why whenever she collabed with them, it sold out. Now, why is Martell, who knows about dressing, since Melody used to lay his suits out and coordinate them, he didn't put those suits together. Melody dressed him.
Yes.
And it's clear to show, from his choices now. He's still wearing them same suits that he wore with Mel.
Yeah.
If you look back, those are the same suits he's been wearing, just running them back and forth, wearing them over and over again. And where is he going to get $100,000? He ran into that meeting thinking he was going to get paid to be their spokesperson.
He sure did. He did.
He was disappointed when he left, but he didn't show it because he's too prideful. But he was like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, get my people to call your people," But he don't got no $100,000
No way.
to start a suit line that 50% of the people would maybe buy. No, they didn't say that would buy. They said they could afford to buy it.
Miguel thought he was talking to like a P. Diddy. No, Miguel, this is not going to be like Sean John, not by a long shot. And
No,
Martell thinking it's an Instagram transaction.
yeah, he thought he was gonna collab and have instant success and that people would sell out his suits. Martell couldn't even sell 50 bottles of wine.
I
Like literally.
know.
How can you couldn't even sell 50 bottles of wine, let alone you didn't even do the research to see where you could ship alcohol across state lines to. You couldn't even sell it in your own
In
city.
your own
Yeah,
state.
He's an idiot. They're
that was
all just
pitiful.
dumb. They are like the worst possible business people ever.
Yeah. And now he gonna say
Okay.
he's the national that his INS was gonna be in stores. Okay.
It's okay. The China thing you said, Ebony. I didn't want to interrupt, Pretty Brown Eyes.
No,
A
you're
lot of
fine.
people don't like their products to be made in China, but
Uh-huh.
the packaging. That's what I'm saying. The packaging, and then according to her, she makes her products and stuff or something. Or I think they're made locally in the U.S. So, and then if you're what's it called, the taxing, the customs duty of finished products and half finished products is different. Do you understand? It might
Gotcha.
actually become really expensive. Yeah. So I understand her having them made locally, but at least get the labeling, all that kind of stuff. Let it be done like on schedule. Like okay, every month we use this amount of labels, they should come in. That's what I was saying. I said, that's what makes sense. But I don't think she's meant to, I don't think she knows how to run a business of this scale and magnitude because she's still
Nope.
penny pinching and trying to run it small when you're trying to be, you want to give the outward appearance of being big, but you're still trying to penny pinch and keep it small. That's one.
Yes.
The suits. Martell, I don't understand that whole scene. I'm sorry. What was what was that about? I don't, because did anybody take that seriously? I don't think anybody took that seriously. I don't think anybody thought
Mhm.
Martell was, because first of all, even Miguel sounds like an idiot because as a
Miguel
business
seemed like he
person,
trying to use Martell to get that 100,000.
Yeah,
Miguel just wanted Miguel is thirsty.
yeah,
Miguel just wanted some camera time. That's all that was about to Miguel. I don't think Miguel thought Martell had 100,000. Hell, he doesn't even look like he has five. This is the same guy that 5 episodes ago was complaining about a $10,000 bill from his attorney for a lawsuit he initiated. So I don't think Miguel cares. I've never heard of Miguel Wilson. I think he's more prominent in the DMV area, more
yeah.
of the DC area. Because so now people know about him. Do they like him? I don't think so. But now we know who he is. So that I think that the same thing Stormy did. Stormy, according to her, was already in Walmart and everything, but we didn't put a face. People that used her product didn't put a face to the name. And speaking of Stormy, I forgot my thought. Stormy, before she came on this show, if you go on YouTube 4 years back, 3 years back, people were already complaining about the fact that her what's it called? Her delivery was horrible. This is not a new Stormy problem. The delivery, the back orders, things taking months. This is not new. If you go on the Better Business Bureau, you will see all kinds of complaints about how they ordered six things, they got one. They got the one thing after like 2 months, and then she sent a card that five more were coming. So this shoddy business practice is not new to Stormy, and it's not because she's on the show. It's just because now we're seeing it on the show. Now back to Miguel. Miguel knows what's his name. Hotel does not have $100,000, and but the thing about it for me is Miguel sounded like an idiot because any business person, exactly pretty brown eyes, will know that if your product can only appeal to 50% of the market, not just appeal, only 50% of the market can genuinely afford your product, that's not a product that is going to do very well going forward. Because of the 50%, only a percentile of the 50% that can afford your product will buy your product. And of that small percentile, only a percentile of that will come back and buy another one. And the bane of any business is repeat business. So I don't understand what Miguel was saying himself, because according to you, you've been doing this for a long time. 50% of the market is not what you're trying to aim for. You're trying to aim for at least 80%, 75%, and hopefully you can get 1% of that 75% pool of customers. If you're to start off with and build up to like 5 to 7 to 15%, you're not going to get the whole 75%. Nobody gets the whole percentage. Why doesn't he start with a suit that costs like 350, 400? That, and if he was smart because he's dumb, the suits are coming out in prom season. The suits were coming out in prom season. A lot
Right.
of the a lot of the pygmishas that want to climb into bed with Martell, their kids were going through prom.
Yep.
Facts. They could even start buying them for the fall for homecoming. But they're not thinking
Thank
like
you.
that. The Miguel guy, he reminds me of a character from Empire or something. It just
They,
gives shade. He just want that 100,000. And he thought he was dealing with like a P. Diddy type of reality TV star. No, sweetheart. There is no 100,000 anywhere for him to cough up for you.
no, Martell was looking for some money, a quick money to get to modeling.
Exactly.
Miguel would have came off better saying, "Hey, I'm gonna pay you 5 grand. Come walk in my fashion show," and leave it at that.
That,
And
Yep.
and
exactly.
just let that be that, because you're gonna catch enough heat just for him being there, let alone try to put out a line that's going to flop. I'm sorry. He looks decent in a suit. He didn't even know what the types of lapel it was, or he
That
didn't
was
know anything
embarrassing.
about any of the cuts or any of that. All he knew is when it was time for them to go out, Melody had a suit already laid out on the bed, waiting for him to just jump his butt in it. He never had to do anything or think for himself ever. He always
The
thought
same
for
person
him
who
and
keeps
dressed him.
saying his wine is 17% alcohol, 17% alcohol content, as if that is the selling point of a wine. That is not the selling point of a wine. It's sweet. It's a very dry wine. It's fruity. It has these notes. It has that note. That's how you sell a wine. It's
It
not
tastes
about telling
great.
us it's 17%. Who cares?
Yeah,
Do
he's
you
crazy.
understand? As in, he can't sell ice. He can't even sell ice in the Sahara Desert. He can't.
Well, his fake girlfriend is now backpedaling and pee popping about being in a relationship with him. I guess she's tired of looking
Oh,
dumb because he's gallivanting around with Boom Boom Belinda and
not just that.
whoever else.
The way that he's been gallivanting with those ones for a while, and she's done interview in her what's it called? She's done interviews when she was doing press for the for Roa. She was still saying it as if they were this amazing couple. Do you understand? It's the
Hmm.
fact that Love and Marriage Huntsville is airing now, and unfortunately for her, the timing of the two shows makes her look even more stupid
Yep.
because Huntsville comes up on Saturday night, Atlanta comes up on Sunday night, and Martell says she says something on Sunday, pre-recorded already, and then Martell says something totally different on Saturday night, which makes her look so moronic. And I'm sure by now everybody's telling her, look, stop claiming this guy, stop saying it, stop doing it. This guy is not claiming you. This guy has called you everything but a girlfriend. He said everything about you but call you or claim you. So at this
Yep.
point, she's embarrassed, but she could have avoided this if she had just listened. And for me, I will lose all respect for Kenya and Candy if they do not mock her and drag her with this Martell situation at the reunion. That's how I feel.
They better.
And
I'm sure they will.
they won't because if I think they won't because for me, if they had any common sense, the second Sheree came at me with that BS this season, I would have immediately started talking about her failed fashion show. I don't know why that was not up for discussion. I don't know why that has been so skillfully avoided.
Everybody, I feel like the only people who can kind of quickly read you on reality TV is Mariah Huck and Kenya. Kenya is kind of swift. Mariah, for me, is like the fastest. A lot of people, they seem to think about how they could have read them afterwards. And when they film their confessionals, then they're reading them then because they've had time to think. But I think when in the heat of the moment, when they're filming, they don't always come with the lines. But I feel like Mariah
Phaedra,
Hutt is the fastest.
Phaedra, Phaedra.
Phaedra, yeah, Phaedra is a good one
Yeah,
too.
Phaedra. Nini's not bad at all. She's not as good as Phaedra, but yeah, but Nini isn't so bad, so shabby. But what's it called? Sheree is a what's it called? A confessional gangster. She cannot read to save her own life, and even in the confessionals, it's a hit or miss. Her reads are
Yeah.
always okay.
She's like a female Martell. She's just an older version of Coleslaw, in my opinion. She doesn't read very well. She's always on the wrong side of history when it comes to men and friend groups. And it's just like, even in the interview with Angela Yee, that's the interview that she just did
Why is
yesterday or
she
the day
bleaching?
before.
Why
Well,
is Sheree bleaching?
she changed her whole face. She looks almost like Drew Sidora. With, I don't know if it's Facetune or she got a new nose. I'm not sure, but
She
Yeah.
got a new nose and she looks a lot like Hazel E, but she's
yeah,
actually
Hazel E.
bleaching
Yeah.
her skin. She's bleaching her skin
Well,
because
she
if you
looks crazy.
Sheree Sheree used to be a not black skin like me, but darker skinned woman. Now she's the lightest person on that cast. She looks almost transparent like. Candace is very good as well. Yeah, Candace is very quick with it. Candace is
Well,
another one that is very quick with it.
Yeah, Candace can read. She's very swift with her
Yeah.
mouth for sure. Yeah, Sheree, you could tell she got some sort of facelift or something done.
No, it's a nose
Well,
job.
Martell does not like older women. You can tell. That's why he is probably doing Sheree like that, because he
Hmm.
doesn't really like older women. He likes young girls, but in
Uh-huh.
order for him to get the young girls that he's attracted to, those young girls are
Honey,
going to be dependent on him because they don't have the money. The older women are the ones that have the money that could support his lifestyle and that
yeah,
would take care of him. See,
Uh-huh.
he dropped the ball when he had Melody because she was young, beautiful, and she had the money
and made
and
the
propped
money.
him right and propped him up to look as though he was young and successful as well. But see, now the emperor has no clothes. He's just looking dumb, and he's just trying to find anybody that he can latch on to that can pretty much take care of him.
Yep.
He said it anyway.
Mm.
He said it anyway that he needs someone to take care of him. In a roundabout fashion, that's what he was saying.
Yeah,
That he needs somebody to
good
take care of
luck,
him.
cause he's not that good
He will
looking to
find.
me.
He's never. I've told we agreed on that. He's never been good looking to me. He has beady eyes. His head isn't cute. Yes, he looks good in a suit, but there's something about him. I just don't think he's an attractive man. I'm
And he's
sorry.
No,
not smart, and you can't trust him. You know he ain't got no money, and he got 5 kids, and one of the baby mamas is totally ratchet. So yeah, there's a million
That
reasons why he ain't
see,
cute.
that's even
Melody
when
made
you
him look good. Melody made him look good.
boom. They
Outside
look
of
good
her,
together. They
he's
look good
nothing.
together.
Together, right?
They
But
look
see,
good
she looks
together.
good without him. He does not look good without her.
Boom.
Not at all. He looks stupid and unattractive and broke. Like you said, you just said it. Melody made him look good. Now he looks like every other ninja that is up to no good and want to get your number. And he got kids all over town. That's what he looks like now.
You see, for
Yeah,
me, I think it's different because that is like you even know something about him. Do you understand what I mean? I'm talking
mm-hmm.
about just looking at him aesthetically without knowing anything about him. Do you understand? He's aging really fast. He's looking older than his age, unless he's been lying about his age. The wrinkles are coming in really fast. His I don't know, there's just something about him. He just doesn't look, I don't know. There's just
I
something
just
about him that isn't attractive for me.
I just don't see how he can be such a Tindler swindler because he's just dumb. He just like holding a conversation with him would give me a headache. I just
Yes.
wouldn't be able to handle him saying things of that nature. And why would you do that at heart? And I am a good guy at heart. What the heck does that even mean?
Right.
Martell, stop regurgitating phrases that you heard somewhere that you think makes you sound educated. You sound dumb.
But that is so
Even the
true because
way he and yeah.
because when you
Oh,
said Virgo, if we did not know him, would we find him attractive? Well, as soon as he opens his mouth and starts talking, he's going to turn me off. And then if you try to politely, turn him down, I feel like he's going to turn up and show his crazy side. And hello, Hannah Grace. Thank you for being here. But go ahead, Virgo.
for me,
Hello.
maybe because for me, I'm more attracted to minds and not looks. And even his looks to me are not what you call attractive. He's just not my speed, a guy. The stupidity and the fact that he has no functioning brain cells, yeah, that for me is just it's a complete turn off. But even if I didn't know him, if he didn't say a word to me, and I just saw him on the street, maybe because I don't like guys, I just think people who spend too much time in the gym, like him, like Sheree, it's because you have
Even
nothing
me.
else. Because you have nothing else on the inside, and you think that your physical looks are all that you bring to the table. And in his case, that isn't much. He's not working with much physically either.
Yep.
Hannah Grace, what were your thoughts? Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Show Styles in Spirit. Hello, Pretty Brown Eyes and Virgo and everyone. I hope y'all are having a great Sunday. Yes, I agree.
Hello, Hannah Grace.
Hi,
Hello.
Miss
Yes,
Hannah.
yes, I agree. Martell is just not, and his character is so flawed that even if he did look good, it would go. It's still, in my opinion, most women. I ain't gonna say most women. Me,
Mm-mm.
I mean, and I'm pretty sure a whole lot of other women too find him to be foul and would not want to be in his presence. But there's a lot of women that do want to be in his presence, like Sheree. And now Sheree, now she's going back on what she said. At first, she was talking about she was having fun. They were uh, date. I thought she said maybe she didn't never say they were dating, but they acted like they were dating, and now all of a sudden she's backpedaling. And I think that what really opened her eyes was the way he treated her on that last episode, the two episodes before the last one, where he just left her standing out there at his event. I mean, you invited this woman. She comes up from Atlanta. She hardly know anyone in that room. And instead of you taking her around with you, you leave her. I mean,
But
I
that
don't
was, but that was, but that was recorded months ago, so she had no issue with that. Her issue is now that it's airing and the way she is being dragged. And the issue
maybe.
is that she didn't know what was going on the other end because what he was telling her was a different thing altogether. But now that she's actually seen that he was running after his ex-wife, now that she's actually seen a lot of these things, the Belinda story, the fact, do you understand all these things? Because this was recorded a long time ago. It was recorded in the height of their new foolishness. Let's not
Well,
forget that
I do.
Sheree is also saying that she cannot have her a surgery because she wants to please Martell. So she looks crazy.
Yeah, I understand that it was recorded months ago, but she did not
Mhm.
see the way it, like you say,
Mhm.
she did not actually see the way how bad it
Yeah,
really is, how bad
exactly.
Martell.
Yeah.
And then in the midst of that, the information came out about what he tried to do to concoct, I mean, to conspire with Coleslaw to put out a tape on his ex-wife. If that don't open up these people's eyes, I don't know what will. And
I
whoever
don't think
is supplying him with money, listening to his lies, supporting him, even this guy right here. If I was him, I'd be very scared to be connected with Martell because his business will go down in flames fooling around with Martell, if you
I
ask
don't think
me.
Sheree cares. I don't think Sheree cares that he did that to Mel because she already said it. I don't care how he treats anybody else, he treats me well. And there are women
Yep.
like that who don't care how men treat other women because they think they're better. And they think, I think Sheree went into this thing thinking that because it was Carlos who put them together, and it was basically to help Marcel's profile and
But let
help
me
give
tell you what I'm
Sheree.
saying, though, Virgo
Uh-huh.
energy. I'm not saying that she did see what he did, but that goes a little further. Who he
Okay,
concocted
okay.
with, he conspired with was his baby's mama. He conspired with her. And then if you're low down enough to use something against me, against her, you would do the same thing to me. It's not, yeah, it was okay that he treated Melody bad and all that. But when you look at this particular event, these circumstances here, that he's low down and evil enough to go that far, then maybe I need to reconsider this. That's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, and I agree. If we were talking about a woman with brains, I would actually agree. If we were talking about a normal woman with self-respect, which would not be Sheree, because the woman with self-respect would never have anything to do with
Dating.
Martell.
Yeah.
I think what happened was maybe her daughter, because her daughter is quite smart. I think her daughter was like, yeah, this is not going on anymore. Did you hear what he did? Nope, we're not doing this anymore. I think her kids were like, enough of this foolishness. Nothing is worth this. Plus the fact
Mhm.
that he has consistently dogged her out without dogging her out. He has never ever claimed her, whereas she's on his show claiming him, refusing to have surgery because, according to her, he has telling everybody he has BDE. That man does not have BDE, and they need to stop pretending like we don't know he stuffed his pants in that scene. We know he stuffed his pants in that scene at
Well,
her
it could
house.
be it could be a combination of all the things that we've
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
but that
yeah.
plus finding out about him signing land deals with this Belinda lady, and then he bought this woman out for $10. But then he said on the interview that he did with Queen Sheba that he bought her out. But you didn't say you bought her out for $10. How much money did this woman spend on this land? How much did you spend on this land? If these women not thinking about this stuff, I don't know what's going on. And the other thing is, I wonder where this coleslaw lady is. She's very quiet. And he's talking about he's a single father of 5. I don't know. They might be still running around here trying to conspire to do something. But I really think that, in my opinion, when Carson Blue came out and exposed Martell and coleslaw, I think that now something has happened where the law enforcement is involved, and that's why he's quiet, and that's why he came out to do that interview, and that's why when coleslaw came out on her, when she had her last lie, she was very nervous, telling me, no guys, I didn't do it. But then Martell he went back and contradicted what you said on the interview. He basically exposed that both of y'all knew. He didn't go as far as to say that he told you to do something to make up a fake page, but he basically said that he would do it himself if he wanted to do it. But we don't believe anything he's saying out of his mouth. But I agree with you guys and I know I'm late coming in, but with Letitia and Marceau, they are the greedy ones, and Martell do need the money. It's not a need whether you need the money. If you provide a service, if you provide your time, you should be compensated for that. And for Marceau and Letitia to think otherwise, I don't know what's wrong with these people.
I agree.
I think AC is quiet. I agree, Miss Anne. I think the backlash they got, especially from the Queen Sheba interview, I think that's why, what's his face? Carlos, according to what I'm hearing, I don't know whether he said it or not, that Carlos said his cast is no longer doing interviews. I think that interview was meant to help Martell, but as usual, he messed it up. So I think they're both on mute. They're hoping and praying that this blows over, and that's why they're quiet. I think right now they're scared to do anything because they're seeing that everything they do always comes to light. So right now, I also think that it's possible that coleslaw's people have told her enough, because she said that a lot of things that they have done could land them in jail. But the thing is, I don't think even her family had an idea of the kind of danger that Martell was putting her in, the kind of jeopardy he was putting her in. So this whole thing coming out, I think maybe even her family is not like, you know what, enough is enough. This has to stop. You have to stop doing what this guy says. I don't know. I'm just thinking that. But I do know that Martell is being quiet because he wants to see whether this will blow over. That's what I think.
And then he's trying to pretend like he's the father of the year with the 5th child, but you cannot. They can't even put the other kids on social media or on the TV show. So I'm very disappointed that a judge would allow him to do this. But I don't. And then the other thing is, I'm not understanding why he would even want that to happen. I mean, you could tell the judge, if one of us violate these particular rules concerning social media or the show, then we won't do that, those particular things. But to just say they cannot come on social media, period. And then as soon as you got what you wanted, then you started going to post your other son. That is so low down. That man is going to pay for that. I think it's going to backfire on him. I hope it does.
Do you know why he doesn't want the kids on social media? It's not because of the kids. It's because people love the kids and Mel. And in all honesty, this might not sound nice, but they are an extremely great marketing tool for Mel. I know she doesn't see her kids as marketing tools, but people have this love for Mel and all that surrounds her that everybody's like, oh my God, look at the Eminem kids, all that, all that, all that. So people just tend to just love her more because of those kids. He wants to dehumanize her in the eyes of people because if he
But
consistently says that she's a bad mother and we see her interactions with her own kids, then we're able to say you're a liar. But if he says she's a bad mother and we can't see her interactions with her kids, but we can see his interaction with his other son, then he says he's a good father. We can see that, but we can't see Mel. So it's all part of the grand scheme to make sure that Mel doesn't look like a good parent.
so you think it's his the reason he don't want the kids on is not because he's saying that they shouldn't be on social media the way because that's what he said. If I could be mistaken, he
That's what
never
he
really
said.
gave a valid reason of why they shouldn't be on there.
Well, in all honesty, according to the courts aren't really fans of kids being on social media anyways because of exposure. So as long as he asked the judge for that, he was going to be given 85%. He was going to get that. That was an easy ask. But the reason why he's doing it is because, and other than that, if he can't get a piece of the profits, why should Mel? That's his logic. Why should Mel? So why should Mel have something in the name of their kids, even though he doesn't have a dime in the formation of that business? Why can't he make money off it? And if he can't make money off it, then it's going to make it more difficult for Mel to make money off it, because to him these are our kids. For the
But he
simple
can.
virtue that these are our kids. Yeah, but the thing is, nothing he touches succeeds.
But I'm
So
saying
what
he
is
could
he
at
meant to
least
do?
try though. Why try to stop her? You could do the same
He
thing that
tried.
she's doing.
He
Hmm.
tried. He failed.
Well,
He
then
tried. He failed.
that's what I'm saying. That's his problem though.
Yeah,
You
but
shouldn't
Martell
try to
doesn't do anything wrong. Martell doesn't do anything wrong. That's the part you don't. Do you understand? Martell doesn't do anything wrong. Martell is perfect. Everything is everybody else's fault. It's because Mel, in his head, Mel uses the kids. So people are invested in the kids on Mel's side. Do you understand? On
Well,
Mel's
no,
side.
he lied, and I'm pretty sure it's a lie. He said that Melody showed their one daughter now a picture of him in an elevator with a woman. He know that's a lie from the depths of hell. He know that girl probably saw that picture that everybody else saw of him and Coleslaw in that elevator, the first picture that ever came out of them together, and she probably asked her mom about it, because there's no way she just gonna pick one child and say, look, here's the picture of you and your dad. But he's it just continues to lie on this woman for no
Yeah,
reason.
but even at that, Mel doesn't have to have the kids on social media to show them that. And she's not gonna show them that on social media. And he's the one that bought them phones that allows them to go on social media. It's not about the kids. It's just simply about that he can't make money off them, so nobody else should. That's all. That's what this is about. Plus, also a way of showing that he's a good dad. Mel can't show she's a good mom. Mel can't post her own kids. She can't even post them on vacation. But he can show himself with Knox. And everybody, what's it called? Anything. He can post anything he likes. So everybody can say, oh my God, look at him with his other son. Oh my God, he's such a good father. We never see Mel with the kids. All we see is Mel showing her products. She doesn't even take care of hang out with her kids, because a lot of people don't know that he has had this put in place, that she cannot show the kids on social media. But he can show
Mm.
his kid. He can't show his other kids, but he can show this one and possibly get people to
But,
fall in love with this one as well, as
but
people
his
have fallen in love with the M&Ms.
Yeah. His problem is he's doing it for the wrong reason and it's going to backfire on him. But I don't know if he's doing it for because he don't want Melody to make money off the kids. But that's probably what
Mhm.
it is though. But he's stopping because she really was just promoting the Sugar Mama brand. And the other kids, she was just showing them from, sometimes in their day-to-day life, eating, playing golf, whatever it was. She was just showing this. This is what a lot of people do on social media. And I don't see anything, or maybe a couple of things that he was the one that bought the kids on there that to talk about, to basically try to make Mel look like a bad mom. But I've never seen her get her children on social media to make him look any kind of way. Now the show, I do remember the episode where the lady was asking the kids which parent did they want to live with, and Boss Baby called him the ice cream boy, and he got mad about that. I can understand that. One infraction, it doesn't mean you got to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You just correct those behaviors and don't put anything like that back on the TV, on the show and on social media. But just to say no, none at all, and then right after that, couple of weeks, maybe a month later, you going full force to create a social media page for your fifth son, putting him out there and trying to make, like you say, make him look like a great father, but also to try to make money off that little boy too, if you ask me.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But the thing is, the things you said as normal activity, Mel showing her kids, that shows that Mel is involved in her kids' lives. That contradicts the story he's trying to sell, which is that Mel is never around her kids and was always leaving them around different people to raise. That's the story he was trying to sell. So whenever Mel is with her kids, the kids are playing. Mel posts a picture of her at the kids' games or them all playing there or at a park or something. That contradicts everything he has said. He has to control the narrative. And the narrative he wants to control, to put out, is that Mel is a bad mother. Hey, Scorpio. That's just it.
But most people that watch this, that look at Melody's social media, know Martell is a liar. Most people already know that. So who he's trying to fool, I don't know.
The people
Again,
he's fooling, he's fooling. The people
it,
he's fooling, he's fooling. He's fooling a lot of people, and that's the saddest part. Mostly women, actually. A lot of men see through him, but a lot of women don't. All they see is him in his tight suits and his muscles that look steroid induced. And all they see is, oh my God, this guy is so fine. And to them, Melody is the demon from hell. And they believe what he's selling.
but I did hear on another blogger yesterday that Melody is still able to promote the Sugar Mama brand with Sugar Mama's image through billboards and other media, except for the TV show and social media. So I haven't seen. They said Miss Van did post a billboard of Sugar Mama in Times Square in Huntsville or something. I haven't seen it, but that's just what I heard. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's stupid, he forgot that social media isn't the only media with which things can be shown. And for him, social media is the easiest. Social media is what everybody sees. Social media is where people are. So for him, shutting social media down is a good step for him, because that way Mel cannot show her day to day. Because remember a lot of times that he would lie and say Mel hasn't seen the kids, and then we'll see Mel will post something of her with the kids at like 30 minutes later. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She can't do that anymore. So whatever stupidity he spews now, she'll have to be creative in dispelling it.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, whatever it is, I hope it fails. Whatever, because it just seemed like it was just too calculating and for the wrong reason. It wasn't for what you say. The reason you say you don't want your kids on social media and on the show. I think he don't want her on the show the kids on the show because they wouldn't let Coleslaw on the show. If you ask me, it's something dealing with them not allowing I don't know who can decide. I mean, who can even get into this criminal mind of Martell? I'm sure somebody can, but I can't figure it out. But I hope it all backfires on him.
He's
Big
trash.
time. He really
He's
is.
trash. That's all anybody needs to know. He's trash. I was on social media on the what's it called? Yeah, exactly. ADR that she's bullying him. To him, anybody responding to him, so he's allowed to throw rocks. But when you say something, even no matter what it is, he's being bullied because he's a perpetual victim. That's what he's allowed to be, the aggressor, but you're not allowed to respond. You're not allowed to have an opinion about what he's doing. You're not even allowed to say, "Ow, you hurt me." To him, that is bullying. He's an idiot. I can't take him seriously, which is why I've lost all respect for Carlos as well. I'm sorry. No, I'm done.
Yeah, because Carlos, it's people like Carlos and Coleslaw, Belinda, Sheree, if you ask me, and these women that put up with this foolishness. And see, he'll get on it. He'll go get on the show, or he'll get on social media, he get on an interview or something like that, and he will not tell the truth about any one of these women, leaving them hanging. Like Coleslaw would get on there. The last time we saw him and her together live, maybe the only time, when some people were asking if she was pregnant, he was like, "Pregnant?" And then he said, "Who's she gonna be pregnant by?" And then he said, she looked at him like, "Martell, who would I be pregnant by?" Like, that we're still sleeping together, we're together, but he won't say that in public to these women. And then they put up with this. I don't understand this foolishness.
That's what I said. That's what I said about there are women who love Martell. If you go on OMFG reality page on Instagram, the post where Mel was talking about how she wants to change her name, they put the short clip up first, and then they put the second clip, which actually spoke about the things he was asking the judge to let him have access to, her passwords, bank statements, all that. If you read the comments under the first clip, the shorter clip, you'll be disgusted. 90% of the comments there were not positive, and 100% of those 90 not positive comments came from women who were saying, "Martell, we support you. Melody, leave him alone. He doesn't talk about you. Why is Martell your storyline?" They actually think this is a storyline for this woman.
Desperate women definitely troll Melody on social media, on Instagram, whenever like she posts, like when she posted herself promoting her body scrub and the Shade Room reposted it. There were so many women criticizing her, like, "Why are you showing your body? Why are you using a filter? And it's supposed to be a skincare line." They go out of their way to judge her, I think, because of their desperate spirit for Martell.
Boom.
Yeah. And see,
Because
that's what he's banking
a prize. To them, he's a prize, and she had the audacity to walk away from the prize and not take whatever he was giving. We were in that other live earlier, and there was somebody there who wanted to start the Mel hate train, but the person realized that nobody was on the hate train with her, and the person left.
Good.
The person kept saying, "I don't know why Mel is doing this nonsense. I don't know why Mel is such a nasty person. Mel is such a this, Mel is such a that." And I was on Richie Sky's live earlier before I came to the one that we usually are together, Ebony. And
yeah,
somebody said that Mel has such a stank attitude that who comes to a meeting with their friends and acts like they're above them all. And I replied that first of all, these are her friends, these are her co-workers, and secondly, she doesn't owe them anything, and she can have any attitude she likes. If they feel so strongly about it, they shouldn't invite us to meetings anymore. Then I continued and said, "But they won't do that, will they? Because they need her."
Exactly.
It's
They're not. They're
it's
trying to use her, but she's not going to let them do it this time, which is good.
and I was like, it's her job, so she came to work. That is all this is. Stop putting 10 on 20. This
Yeah,
is not
like
a
you
meeting of friends. This is a job. She came to work. I said the same way
exactly.
you clock in, she clocked in as well.
I agree with you. They're her co-workers, not her friends. And I don't know why people expect Melody to be something other than human. She can never express any other emotion besides happiness. She can never get angry with anyone, but they'll justify the way Martell has treated her and the way Tish and Marceau has talked to her. But when she returns that energy, she has a bad attitude and she's the B word. And then it's also what Miss Ann said. If you ever call out what men are doing as wrong, then you are putting down the black man. And that needs to stop too. Because they'll be quick to say what we need to do to make more money or work on your body or whatever. But the minute we say what they need to do better with taking care of their kids and they should earn more money, then you're putting down the black man. No.
I
No,
I have a question.
no one is putting down a black man, but they're not going to allow a black man to take a woman down, use her kids, go out here and do whatever he wants to without and just stay silent about it. That's not going to happen.
I have a question.
I agree.
This whole protect black women, is it all black women or black women we like?
Whoever they feel like. That was all cap. That was all a big lie. It all started when we learned how the unfortunate situation that happened to Miss Breonna Taylor, and it was when the guy from Sweetie Pies was charged with his nephew's untimely what happened to him being unalive. Then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's, oh, we need to protect black women. And Jennifer Williams was right about the guy from Sweetie Pies. We need to protect black women. And they didn't mean it.
Because the people that are most unprotective of black women are black women themselves.
Yes. These men, you can't break up with them. You can't even tell them no thank you when they ask you, can they call you some, if you're not interested. You're supposed to automatically be interested in them just because. And then you could be in danger. There's so many
Because
stories, news stories on YouTube about it. Go ahead.
yeah, that's one. And then two, like the whole Tiffany situation. For me, I find Tiffany to be like a nuisance, if that makes sense. I don't like her. I don't dislike her. I just don't feel anything for her. She's just on the show. You understand what I mean? And do I agree with her 90% of the time? No. Do I think she was right to talk to Sheree like that? No. Did I find it very amusing? Hell yeah. Did I think she did what needed to be done? Yes. Do I think she has saved the season so far? Yes. Do I think Martell had a right to speak to her about it? Yes and no. Do I think Marceau should have been there? Nope. Do I think the optics of both men putting her in the middle of them, which is exactly what they did, they were on either side of her, and she was in the middle, and Marceau was saying some really condescending, disrespectful things to her. That right? No. I don't have to like Tiffany. I don't have to be a Tiffany fan to be able to point that out because I wouldn't want any man doing that to me. And I wouldn't want any man doing that. I don't care what color the man is, black, white, purple, green. I wouldn't want a man doing that to me or anybody or any woman that I loved. And I wouldn't want my son doing that to any woman. So for me, I'm going to call out Martell and Marceau. Not because I like Tiffany or I think Tiffany was right, but because that is a woman. She is pregnant. She is on her own. Her husband is your friend. You could have spoken to her husband. But for some reason, because a lot of people don't like her, they thought it was okay. So my question to those women is, if you were in Tiffany's shoes, yes, you messed up. Yes, you did some nonsensical trash. Would you be okay with two men sitting on either side of you and coming at you in that way? And what would make that right? So that means if a woman does something like that to your son, then in your opinion, your son and his friend are right to tag team her. And then you wonder why the men that are outside now why they behave the way they behave. It's because women have told them it's okay. When 5 women tell them it's not okay, 65 tell them, no, you're right. You're a strong black man. You're a good black man. So she shouldn't
Yeah,
have
but
done that.
yeah. And then the other problem is that, like, I just saw someone put it in the chat that the problem is that Martell keeps on making these raunchy, low down, scandalous moves against the woman that had 4 kids for him, tried to support him in any and every way she could, and he stabbed her in the back with all of this foolishness, ran around on her for years, let the side chick continue to disrespect not only his wife, his family, his home, their resources. He did so much more than just cheating on this woman. And for him to continue to go, just feel like he had any kind of justification. And when he did apologize, he would always try to blame her for not satisfying him and all this other stuff. Martell, no one, if someone do support him, I don't see how. I really don't. And I will say that when they were on the vacation in Destin, Florida, I thought that there was a chance for him to, at least try to get it right with her. And I was somewhat excited about seeing them together. But then after he got back, he did the same thing. He told Coleslaw that the woman was sick, told her what she had. His ex-wife, this is confidential stuff that should have never been shared with Coleslaw, even though he said that he had the right to share it. And then he told her that he called Melody this woman's name. And she gets on social media bragging about this stuff. And these people still support this bad behavior with Martell. And we can go on and on and on and on. So this support black men crap, I don't want to hear when it comes to Martell, because you cannot support bad behavior. And if you support bad behavior, what does that say about you? And not only that, anyone that's connected to this man, if they continue this foolishness, they're going to look up one day and it's going to be really bad for them because they're supporting evil. You cannot win doing that.
Unfortunately, there'll be many people who will continue to support him. There will always be people who
That's the
support
price
him.
they have to pay.
Okay. Well, I'm off. Thank you, Ebony. Thank you, Hannah Grace. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you
I will
so
be
much.
cautious.
Yes,
Mhm.
thank you for being here, Virgo. I appreciate you.
All right.
Have a
Bye.
good one. Bye-bye now. But yes, it's sad, Ebony, but thank you so much for having this conversation. And Martell, again, I just don't believe that these people will ever, with Martell, he's not going to ever get it straight, because like Virgo just said, it's people that support this bad behavior, no matter
Yes,
what.
they do, absolutely. And it's so funny because, like, when I binge watch the old seasons, Melody would always want to try and be cordial with the Scots. And Martell, he would be talking about him like a dog at home, and he didn't want to be bothered. But then once she left him, then he wanted to be bothered with the Scots. And then he even went further as to trying to turn everybody against her. And I'm like, and you don't even care for these people, but because you're so mad that she left you, you want to turn everybody against her now.
And that's exactly what she said in one of the episodes. She said that Martell had to join up with the Scots because they all were against her. So she said, let me run over here because I can't run over. I can't remember her exact words, but that's basically what you're saying. He connected with Destiny and the Scots and all of them to try to sabotage Melody and turn them against her.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And this scene was crazy with the divorce attorney. And she confirmed what the blogs revealed a couple months ago, that he wanted passwords to her social media accounts and he wanted to know who she was dating. That is just the craziest thing that I have ever heard. And the attorney even said to her, I have never had a client's ex-spouse ask in court to know the personal information. And Martell literally tried to use the courts to control Melody again.
And that's what she said. But what? I don't understand. Why would he need to know who she is intimate with? Didn't he ask for that too? Her intimate partner, since they got a divorce?
Yes, he wanted to know who she has been with since the divorce, which is just insane to me. She's no longer your spouse and she's not your child. She's not your possession.
Wow, that shows you just how crooked his spine is, because he was showing up at her home too, just popping up like this is his house. You know how aggravating that is for somebody to just pop up at your house without letting you know?
Yeah,
I don't care.
Go ahead.
If you were so concerned about your children, you shouldn't have been out there cheating around on your ex-wife and causing her to have to divorce you. Apparently, you weren't that concerned about him. You were more concerned about yourself.
I know, and that's why I say Melody is so positive and spiritual, because that would be a lot. He's very stressful, and just driving up to her house, that's trespassing when you come and you were not invited. So I'm glad her lawyer was tough and he fought for Mel in court and said no to the passwords and who she's been with. I'm glad, because he was really trying to control and bully this woman.
Yeah, and he did not have any reason to know her passwords to her accounts. That's just crossing too many lines, if you ask me. There's no unless he can explain why he wanted them. I can't think of any good reason, and I don't even think he can come up with a good reason of why he would need her account information. But she did say she kind of understand why they needed the money. I mean, her bank records to see if she could afford to take care of the kids. I understand that.
Yeah.
But all of the other stuff, and see, not only is Martell a problem to deal with because of his behavior and just who he is and his character, but then you got the other lady that he's connected to and her child. Who wants that in their life? Nobody in their right mind would want Martell Orion. And I'm going to go as far to say as his fifth child. Y'all go over there with that. Exactly. It would be bad enough that I would have to have my kids around these people. I just wouldn't want it. Sorry. I if I'm wrong, God forgive me. But because of what she displayed on social media with her son,
yeah,
I would not want my kids around, especially my baby girl, with the aggressive behaviors that we were seeing. Nope, sorry. And there's nothing she could do about it.
Exactly. I know she just asked God to protect them and tell the kids, you tell me anything that's not right. And I'm sure they know to dial 911. But that's a lot. There's no way I would want to deal with Ariane. And that's what we were talking about earlier when we said, what if Martell approaches you and he wasn't on TV and you don't know anything about him? That would be a scary brother to have to get to know. And then he's got 5 kids by 2 women, and one of them is an absolute mess. She will give you trouble. No.
That's enough right there to not even, and that's why Melody is so peaceful, because she don't have to deal with him. And then every time she get in a peaceful place, here he come with some foolishness.
Exactly. Every time. But I hope he calms down. She said in this scene, him popping up uninvited, that did go away because I guess he don't want to go back to jail, which is good.
Great. I'm glad that, because she deserves her peace. She has too much stuff to worry about, running all these businesses, 4 kids. And then the week that her kids is with him, she don't really know. Well, maybe they got some kind of good communication system where, the counselors will debrief, but maybe the kids would debrief with the counselor after they get back or something. I don't know. I hope that there's something in place where she knows that if something happens, she would be aware of it, and it wouldn't be no long term something that's going on for weeks and weeks that she don't know about.
I agree.
Because I wouldn't trust Martell. I couldn't trust him as far as I could see him. He went out in a pandemic, running around, and they told everybody to shut down, to stay in your home, don't go out.
Exactly.
And he still went out and he
Yeah.
came back with a baby.
But that's no self-control when you can't even, when we're in a deadly situation. I shouldn't have said deadly. Oh, I said it again on YouTube. Sorry, but when we were in that situation, for him to still go out, that's a lack of self-control. And I want to, because you brought up the bank statement, which was important. I'm hoping when she said that, I'm hoping the only person who saw it was the judge, or maybe she was able to mark out, redact her bank account number and stuff. Or I'm hoping just the judge saw her bank statements, because like you said, I can't trust Martell as far as I can see him either.
I know, yep, you cannot trust him. And then the other thing, I don't know if the attorney was smart enough to ask for all of her accounts, even her business accounts, or did they just want her personal banking account? But anyway, either way, he just want to be nosy and see how much money this woman got.
Yeah.
And then he tried to stick it to her in any way he can. When they were in Destin and they were on the yacht, and he said, Melody asked him, had he ever been on a yacht? And I think he said no. She said, oh, or something like that. And he said, well, it's not, because I can't remember exactly what he said, but that really hurt his ego. His ego was injured then. And so guess what? Now you see him on the boat with his son fishing. See, that's how criminal minds work. They're going to get you. I'm telling you, these people are going to get you back. They're going to try. No matter what, if you embarrass them or anything like that, they are going to make you pay. They are going to try. But see, the good thing about this is Melody probably is not bothered. But to him, he hit her back with putting him and the son on this. Now you're not the only one can be on. It's just like, it was to me, that when I saw that picture, I was like, okay, it took me right back to when they were in Destin.
Yeah, thinking he's hurting her. And I remember that too. His pride makes him think that Melody is trying to tease him because he don't have the money no more now that he's not with her. She just asked him if you've been on a boat. She wasn't trying to make you look bad. You make yourself look bad.
Well, she was talking about the yacht. He had been on a boat, but I guess now he's just again trying to rub it in. But it's just, and then to rub it in, you put your sign. It's like you can't have your kids like people. You say no. Like you can't have your kids on social media. But look, I got mine. But like I said, it's gonna blow up in his face. It's gonna have to backfire on him, because there's no way that it's so unequal. You can have your son, but I can't have mine. You can't have your 4 kids, your other 4 kids, but you can have your 5th. How does that work? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking.
Maybe the judge will reverse that. I don't know.
I hope so. And maybe, you know what? Maybe Melody working on it, but she will not let nobody know. And you can't let Martell know anything you're doing, because he will get out in front of it and try to stop it.
He sure will. He's so obsessed.
Yeah, but we just pray for Melody and her children, and hope that I know she cannot wait till Milani turn 18 and graduate from high school, and she will not have to deal with Martell. I don't care what I don't care what Nail said. You're gonna have to deal with. No, I don't have to deal with him. He means nothing to me. Nothing.
Well, because she'll be 18 in about another 14 and a half years. Time do go by fast. I just
It
don't know if it's
does.
by that fast, but goodness.
And also, Ebony, I did see on the internet, a YouTube yesterday where they were Melody was interviewing Mariah when she was a little kid, when they was first when they first started the show.
Uh-huh.
And it's such a great little interview that I think Mariah was actually interviewing Melody, and she
Oh,
was saying how she liked to be on the show. I think she like at that time, I can't remember her exact words, but she was really excited about, and for Martell to take away this opportunity from her
yeah.
is so discouraging. It's so sad. But bottom line is, I hope that when she turned a certain age, that the judge will allow them to make their own decisions about whether they want to be on social media, or I don't know if that was in the custody agreement or not. Whether the kids will have the opportunity to make their own decisions at some
They
age.
They definitely have a mind of their own, because when she spoke out after Carson revealed what Ariane said they were trying to do to her with the tape, and she spoke out, she said, my kids are still young, but one day when they grow up, if they want to, they may speak out about what they've been through. So they definitely, I guess, at home in private, they must vent about their dad, and all his shenanigans. So she's saying when
Wow.
they grow up, they may speak out. So we'll see. Because I think Mariah is 12 now. So it'll just be 6 more years to when she's 18. So we shall
Yeah.
see.
So sad. I mean, any woman that see this going on and support Martell and don't give Melody the grace that I think she totally deserves in this situation, it's something wrong with these people.
Hmm. But a lot of women are like that, unfortunately. I think they project, I think they feel like because they went through pain and being disrespected and being cheated on, or physically abused, then they want every other woman to deal with it too. I think they're projecting what they went through onto you, and it's not fair.
It sure isn't. Ebony, let me ask you this: do you have any idea, hypothesis of why they won't bring Miss Van on the show?
I think it's retaliation. That's my opinion. I feel like when I watch it, we're watching like workplace retaliation, because I think she did speak up for herself when they brought on the one brother that doesn't seem like he's all the way there. I think she
Hmm.
spoke up for herself then. And then I think when the viewer said, we don't want to see Wanda on the show after she tried to suck her hit Mel season 5. So I think they're taking it out on Miss Van. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Well, not basically what you said at first is that they are retaliating on her because she went to the producers, and not only did she go to the producer, I think she said she emailed them, and maybe that email got to own, and I think,
Hmm.
like you're saying, that they are basically, what they try to do is make you quit, but it's a contract, so they didn't even have to let her sign a contract. So they let her sign a contract as if she was coming back on the show, and then won't let her. And she said she filmed several scenes and
Yeah.
they won't even air them. So I think you're right. It's Carlos King retaliating.
Yeah. It's
Plus
very mean.
plus he wanted Miss Wanda to stay, and they wouldn't let Miss Wanda stay. And I think he also may want to bring coleslaw on that show too. I
Yeah. And
think,
that would be so disappointing if Carlos does that. Because he used to say, oh, absolutely not. She has been way too disrespectful. And I don't think she should. Tagging Oprah, You make Instagram posts saying that this show uses your likeness, which she is so unintelligent. Nobody shows your picture, nobody shows videos of you on the show, so it's not your likeness. You're only sorta a part of the show because the husband cheated on his ex-wife. If you were not the mistress, then you would not be connected to the show at all. But she would talk about them using her likeness and tagging Oprah Winfrey. Who does that? So no, she should not be on the show. And that would be horrible if Carlos did that.
And see, Martell also said that he felt like she should be on the show because she needs to defend herself. And I totally disagree with that because, again, I think Queen Sheba said that they didn't really talk about her. They talked about the situation, but I can't remember them actually talking about this particular woman other than the baby. But they still didn't talk about her. They talk about him with having an extramarital affair.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that she was going around social media saying, that stayed on social media. I can't remember them saying anything about her particularly. I could be wrong. I know Kimmy brought it up in one of the scenes, but
Kimmy only brought it up after Tasha K interviewed her, and she called the alleged women that the Scotts run around with, she called them the linebackers, and Kimmy didn't like that. I think that's the only reason why Kimmy kind of acknowledged her the following season. But you're right, Hannah. It has never been Ariane specific. She doesn't even know if she is the peasant. It could be another girl that he was running around with. How does she know? I think she told one of her friends to leak her name to Funky Dineva. I think she wanted to be Instagram famous. I think she wanted to be a known side chick, and she told somebody to leak her info to Funky Dineva. She wanted this, and she wants to be on that show.
I think you're right, because at the time when it was leaked, Martell was and Coleslaw weren't even dating anymore. She said it herself. She said, yeah, she said in one of in one of her lives, that's why she definitely said it. She said that she said her and Martell went together because she called Melody and said something about, if your husband keep calling me, I'm gonna let you know. You remember anything like that? She was going to call Melody and let her know that her husband was continuing to try to contact her, and then after that, I guess after a while, Martell wiggled his way back in with her, and then that's when she got pregnant. But like I said, that didn't come out on the show other than when Melody said they were on their way to Atlanta. She said that same chick. She didn't call nobody's name. Yes. And then, but see, then Coleslaw want to use that when Melody and Martell got a divorce, and Coleslaw got onto her Instagram page one night, and she was totally off the rocker. She said, well, the lady said that he was dating other women. Why y'all saying it's me? Why y'all saying me? And she even alluded to the fact that he wasn't talking about her when he called a woman a peasant. It was like, girl, but again, like she had talking about my image and all of that, my likeness. No. They didn't. They weren't talking about you. If they didn't know who you were, if you had to stay silent, nobody would. I mean, if you had to kept your mouth shut, I really don't think Martell would have ever told who it was. She came out, and I don't know. I just can't see him.
I agree.
He could have been running around town. They may have been. It's kind of hard to say. What I'm trying to say is, I wonder how many people, if any, Marceau them definitely knew, because they said she popped up, but they were gonna keep it a secret. I don't think too many people knew that they were dating. But then she said they always went out. They always had date nights. He was always taking her here, taking her there. So who knows? Martell is so that man is crazy. He wanted a wife and a girlfriend, and he wanted his wife to put up with that disrespect. That's what he wanted. I'm glad she left him.
Yeah, he did. He was expecting her to put up with him having a girlfriend on the side. And that's interesting for her to say that they were broken up when her name got leaked. Oh, she definitely told a friend to leak her info then. She was either mad that they had broken up or she wanted to get back with him. Some sort of way she was getting back at him for them being broken up. So she wanted her name to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And somewhere in there, she had gotten pregnant, and she said she had a miscarriage, and then she had, another procedure. So up in there somewhere come these kids that he got her pregnant with, and all these other things, and then here Melody is, and just imagine going over there doing all that, and then coming back to your wife expecting her to be intimate with you. It's something wrong. It's totally something wrong. Because she said that's the part that really bothered her, for him to do that, because she did not know anything was wrong, because they were still doing all of that. They were still walking in the park, sleeping together, having babies.
Yeah.
And so I'm just so glad she's out of it. And that's why she always talked about freedom, just peace and all of these things like this.
So Barbara says nobody knew who Coleslaw was until she appeared on Tasha K. But Barbara, remember, Ariane has been running her mouth on her social media for a few years now. And her name was leaked to Funky Dineva, and he revealed her as the mistress. And that's when she started going live on Instagram and talking about her and Martell, their intimate moments. And then that was how Funky Dineva and Tasha K, they collaborated and covered stories on her. And then Tasha K interviewed her January of last year. But people definitely knew who this particular mistress was because she ran her mouth so much online after Funky Dineva revealed her name.
And it was her that actually revealed it, because not only did they reveal her name, they revealed a picture of her and Martell in an elevator. And she took a selfie. So, she had to put that picture out. No one else would have had that picture.
No one else would have had it. Exactly. She wanted to be known. Mm-hmm. No shame. Well, Hannah, this has been great conversation. I thank you for coming up.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I surely enjoyed the show, and I will be back with you next time. Do you have a membership?
I do not have a membership. I've been trying to think, if I were to do that, what kind of additional content I would offer, because I would want it to be worth it to everyone. But that is something that I'm definitely thinking about.
Okay, great. Well, have a great one, Ebony. I'll see you next week then, or whenever. We'll be around the YouTube streets. Bye-bye now.
I'll see you around. And thank you all for joining me. You're welcome. I hope y'all have a great week. Of course, you'll see me sooner. I'm sure I'll cover Roa. I'll probably do a pre-recorded video of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And if there's any more social media news popping up with Love and Marriage Huntsville, I'll do a video on that. And I thank y'all for being here. I enjoy kicking it with y'all when we cover Love and Marriage Huntsville. So please, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to Show Style and Spirit if you haven't already done so. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and have an awesome Monday. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.